Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Time Extend Revo. We're calling it now, apparently. We've decided on that name. Sure. My name's Adam Ismail, here with Andrew, Brendan, Paul. How are we all doing, guys?
Holding together?
Very
Good.
festive.
Holding together? Yeah. I think people will be hearing this in January, but we are now pretty much 2 weeks removed from Christmas at the time we're recording this, and everybody's got their decorations on in the background. It looks nice. Except Andrew, he's just in his usual
Just in my cave.
Yeah, cave with good lighting though.
Yeah.
Well lit.
It's important. Adam's got all of his festive decorations, which is to say the same Daytona poster back there.
The same Daytona poster. This Daytona
else do you
poster
need?
is going to hang on my walls as long as I have walls to hang it on.
Amen. It's
Yeah.
same goes for the res one behind me here.
So today's episode is going to be a fun one. At first, we were trying to figure out how to name it, but I think I've settled on the right name for it: One Make Racing Games.
Okay.
Because for a while we were like, oh, is it we were talking about Porsche Challenge and Ferrari Challenge, are these challenge games?
single manufacturer challenge
games?
is how I ended up saving my project file over here.
Yeah, there are a bunch
a
of
lot more
different things you can call it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think One Make Racing Games rolls off the tongue kind of nicely.
It's cleaner.
And yeah, it's cleaner. And I think as we'll find, we're going to start this episode strong and almost immediately plunge off of a cliff because most of these games are not that great.
Nope.
Time extends back, baby.
Yeah, I remember when Brent had the idea to do an episode about 7 out of 10 racing games. That was that felt revolutionary at the time, Brent. I remember wow, we're going to talk about games that aren't that great. Well, now we're going to talk about now we're going into the fours, maybe even the threes. It's going to get dark.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, once we did those 7 out of 10 racing game episodes, I guess, with some of the games we focused on, it did feel as if that became very much the YouTube flavour of the month type thing, and it blew up massively. So we need to get the bar even lower, and what better way to do it than focus on a very niche specific subgenre of game that naturally would be pretty bad, right? Because as we'll talk about with some of these games, there isn't really much of a purpose when it comes to the actual game design and development side of things. It's more about, for some of them, here's this virtual catalogue of a specific car, not even a manufacturer as such, just one car. And then with other ones, one very specific brand of snowmobile, in my case, that I also played. So we're going into the doldrums with this one. It's Time Extend Revo, baby. This is the start.
I love that in classic Brent fashion. We're find a racing game with one make of car in it, and you found a one make snowmobile game. I mean, I didn't even know there was a thing, but the guy who
Man has a talent for finding things.
yeah, exactly. I mean, he almost found. I was listening to an old episode the other day, just to get back into things, and it was the running games one. And you had brought up that you bought or tried to buy a Pepsi Man soundtrack and failed. And I mean, you didn't fail; they failed you. Really, is what happened, and that made me sad all over.
Yeah,
again.
I did miss out on the vinyl, but in the end, I did actually get the original micro CD from Japan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, that's so rad.
That looks
That's
awesome.
wicked.
So I didn't get the vinyl. They didn't send me the vinyl, but yeah, pretty cool. You've got the crushed Pepsi Man can on the back of it as well. 3 tracks on the playlist: Pepsi Man Original Mix, Pepsi Man Jungle Mix, and Pepsi Man Techno Mix.
Pepsi Man's
jungle,
massive. Booyaka, booyaka.
That's crazy.
Pepsi
So
is
how many
wicked.
how many mortgages was that, Brand?
Well, I get kicked out of the house next week.
It was only half of what an analog 3D will be going for
God.
next week on eBay.
Yeah, that's why I bought that, to scalp it so that I could then afford to pay the mortgage next month. So that's...
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
The classic Pepsi Man derail. It might be Time Extend Revo, but Pepsi Man finds a way.
Well, I am definitely
is
going
eternal.
to listen to at least like 20 seconds of all three of those mixes and then put my favorite one at the end of this episode. So
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
look forward to that. But yeah, so we are going to start this journey with maybe the only game that we all played in the run up to this. Because there's a number of games I think that we've all played, but this one was one that for me like symbolized like the North Star of this like one make racing game thing, and always has for a long time, and that would be Porsche Challenge on the PS1. A game that I remember for a long time, anytime I would bring it up to somebody, they'd be like, "Oh, you're talking about the Need for Speed Porsche game," and I'm like, "No, that's a completely different game." Yeah, which Andrew just picked up, showed the camera. Completely different game. One we're probably not going to talk about much today. But that's okay because Porsche Challenge is better. It is a first-party Sony internally developed racing game. I think it was a team that would later do London Studio, would later do Getaway and stuff like that. A lot of those like iToy, SingStar games, stuff like that. They weren't called London Studio at the time, but I think they were like Sony IO or they had some kind of name like that. But great game. You only drive Porsche Boxers in it, and I think that's why most people don't know about it.
Yeah, I think like this game was very well known in the UK right at the launch of the PlayStation 1 purely because it was on the classic Demo 1 disc that obviously a lot of people had at the time. So I know a lot of people were probably aware of the game and maybe played through that demo, but I don't actually know. I didn't know anybody growing up that actually bought it. Like in terms of, I mean, people didn't really buy PlayStation 1 games back then. They did pirate them a lot. But in terms of actually having a legitimate copy, I can't remember ever actually seeing one in the wild, as in with people I knew who had PlayStation 1s. But I think the actual title itself was well known through that demo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the demo. I can't remember if the demo was on a magazine.
It was a magazine
It
demo
might
as
have been
well.
a demo one from a magazine.
Yeah.
So the first official PlayStation, the PlayStation UK magazine, which was amazing because it had a disc each month. I'm sure you guys in the US forgot exactly the same. But yeah,
we
it was
stuff like that as well. But
it was surprisingly good quality when you play it and it was the same year as GT. GT came out end of '97, right, in Japan at least.
Yeah.
So sort of in mid. So I guess
West.
so '98 for like Europe and US. Yeah.
is the PlayStation 1 piracy thing is that a UK specific localized trend? Because I feel like you guys talk about the PlayStation the way that Brazilians talk about the PlayStation, and I think that's beautiful. But also, like, nowhere else is that a thing that people talk about. But I feel like anytime I talk to anyone from England or Scotland or Wales or whatever, they're just like, "Oh yeah, no one actually bought PlayStation games. I mean, come on, no one does that." And like, no one from any other region had that experience that I've ever spoken to, and it's fascinating to me.
Yeah, it was absolutely massive over here, the piracy thing for the PlayStation 1. Like, I can
so.
recall friends in primary school, which is the first kind of tenure of school for people elsewhere, and there was a guy who, his dad was the person who had the CD burner, and every Friday he would come in with like 10 discs and just be like, "Who wants fucking Fire Force?" or whatever. Like, what was it called? Something McQueen. I can't remember. It was like a fire fighting game on the PlayStation 1.
Oh gosh.
Something McQueen, isn't it?
Was this pre-Burning
Sin
Rangers?
something. It's got Cardinal Sin, SYN.
Yeah, it might
of?
have been that. I need to look it up. But anyway, it was like he would just come in with
In
all
that
these
Rise of the
games
Robots tier of like,
just these random games, like, and it was just that prevalent. Everybody knew somebody who had a CD burner who would get you the games. Most people wouldn't actually modify their PlayStation 1s. They would just do the disc swapping trick.
the swap trick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, with the launch machines you could do.
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
yeah.
And so many people just done that. So it was pretty prevalent over here. Like, people still did buy some games, but in the most part, a lot of games like Porsche Challenge, for example, would likely be just, somebody gave me this disc that had the name written in Sharpie. It was Porsche Challenge that was on it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you'd get the same people that modified your cable box
Yeah.
to get free sport or movies would also I'll chip your PlayStation for you, mate, like 20 quid or whatever. And then you come back with like a binder full of games. But I remember the news articles going, some of these games, they don't work right. They're running black and white, which is obviously they were like NTSC versions of games not running on people's PAL TVs.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like okay, but on the news it was like they don't run correctly and stuff. It's like, well,
the game evolved that much. I actually had some. I can't remember the exact format you call it, where you can have movies on a CD.
Oh yeah,
video
CD. Yeah, I had a Bug's Life across 3 video CDs. You would swap the disc at certain parts of the film. That was how prevalent the piracy was in games like Porsche Challenge. We're in that perfect bucket of probably wouldn't buy this, but if some guy off the street's just walking around handing out PlayStation discs, then I'll definitely take it.
Which I guess happens. So whatever.
The game had one car and 4 tracks with a couple different layouts. So like if ever there was a game that the demo was most of the game, it would be Porsche Challenge.
Yep. And the characters, don't forget the characters.
I was gonna say,
Rachel
so
and,
much.
I'm sorry. Well, it's funny. So like when I was a kid, because this was one of the earliest games I remember playing, I would always pick the red car because it was the red car, and because I also
that makes
was
it
playing
faster.
Ridge Racer, and that it makes it faster. But also I just like the red Boxster. I mean, this is the reason. It's really funny. Most people do not like this era of Porsche cars, like the 986 Boxster and 996 911, because they have the fried egg thing, and also their quality is supposedly worse than the cars that came before or the cars that came after, and all that stuff. But as a kid, because I played this game when I did, I fell in love with the Boxster, the original Boxster. I mean, like it's funny because it's the kind of thing where I will talk about like, oh, I would love to own the 986 one day, and somebody will say like, why don't you just do that now, because they're still cheap now and they won't be by the time you decide that you want to do it. But I don't have space for another car, so it's just it's probably never going to happen. But also I don't have the money for another car. Honestly, the idea of owning more than one car has always been foreign to me. But
just walk down the streets of Manchester and find some guy selling burned CDs of new cars and knocking those out.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It can't 986 with Sharpie all over it.
It can't be a PAL car though. It won't work on our roads.
That's true.
Black and white. Driving black and white.
Your freeways are 50 miles an hour over there. It's 60 here. It's a whole thing.
17% slower.
You have more lanes though, is the thing.
So like in Glasgow, just last thing I'll say on this topic, we have a market called the Barras. The full name's the Barrowlands, but everybody calls it the Barras. And every Saturday, most working class families across the area would go to this market, and you would just have street sellers with like a fucking duvet on the ground with like all of these fake PlayStation games, and it'd be like 4 for £2 or whatever. And the reason it was in the duvet was because if the police were coming past, they would be able to just put it over. Yep, that was it. So you used to be able to just go
burned
up there
kung fu tapes in Times Square.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you see that. You see that with like fake handbags and shit all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I've never thought about that with fake PlayStation games.
It was great. 4 for £2. I remember the deal well. It'd just be like you'd come home with the most random stuff ever. But yeah, that's where a lot of those kind of, as we'll talk about later on, Polaris Snowcross and stuff would come about, just because some guy has burned that onto a CD for some godforsaken reason and somebody's bought it.
He was still wandering the streets to this day. It's been decades since anyone has taken him up on an offer. He was so happy that you asked him if he had Polaris Snowcross.
My secret's out.
He was like, finally, someone wants another PlayStation CD.
Yeah, like Sled Storm was too good. I need that, but with an official license and bad. I don't know if it's bad yet. We'll find out. I have no idea.
Yeah, we'll find out.
But yeah, so Porsche Challenge, one of the things that really, I think, endeared all of us to this game over the past week are the characters. Because I never really thought much about this, but the game only has one car in 6 different colors, and each color is tied to a different character. They're all trendy people in their 20s, except for what?
The DJs. One's a DJ.
Yeah. There's a DJ. They all have, if you read the instruction manual, they all have like characters they like, characters they don't like, and like one character that they love. I think one of the characters is like I think it's Takabo. I think it's the
Takabo,
the hacker, and he's like 17 or something. So like nobody who has the Boxster is allowed to be over the age of 30. Clearly,
yeah.
No.
It's a very focused group.
This is
chosen
Porsche's Miata.
Yeah.
What's really funny is like the main guy with the silver card, Dan. Like if you look at his picture, and he looks like he's 40.
Yeah.
But he's actually supposed to be 28, I think.
Look, it's been a hard 28.
According to the chart in the manual, he loves Rachel.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh.
He's also a kickboxer, and he does not look like a kickboxer. He looks like an investment banker.
That's the thing. I thought he was like a British gentleman as well, but he's also from New York, if I recall, or like somewhere.
Yeah, he's the American.
Yeah.
So he's 28, and Rachel's 19. Rachel can afford a Boxster somehow.
Maybe it's Dan that's bought her a Boxster as well, so they could be car buddies.
I don't know why I'm trying to squeeze Englishmen in New York in here. They're demo cohorts invented by a marketing agency.
Yeah.
Like I've been in meetings where these people are created, where you just like invent a person to advertise to and hope that catches enough people that are similar enough to this invented corpus homunculus of just I don't know. They're advertising to people, and it's the 90s that way.
That makes sense. I guess the question is like, did Porsche come to Sony and was like, hey, these are demographics that we want to buy this car, just take these? Or did Sony invent their own characters? I'm guessing it was probably some kind of collaboration, but because this game, like, I mean, all over it, like all the games we talk about today are going to be licensed by a manufacturer in some way, shape, or form. But I think what makes Porsche Challenge special is that it really does feel like the brand, the marketing team, whatever, even to some degree, like the engineers, the designers were like involved deeply with this project. Like, and that's why I think it works so well, because it doesn't feel like the game we'll talk about later, Lotus Challenge. It also had like a Motor Trend tie-in, but only on the Xbox, not on other platforms. It just felt like the licenses were like completely like, oh, if we can get a company to like, okay, this great. But like Porsche Challenge literally feels like it was crafted to be a game that was, I don't know, maybe, I have no idea, I didn't look into this, but like I wouldn't be surprised if it was like given away at Porsche dealerships or something like that, because it really feels like like an interactive brochure, but not in like a shitty way that you would think now, like an advert game or whatever you would call that. Like, it's a good game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Most of what we're sorry, Paul. Just most of what we're talking about today are functionally advert games. They're not far removed from Toyota Yaris on Xbox Live. But Porsche Challenge is a case where like I've only messed with this a little bit before prior to this episode, but the reason that I own it in the first place and cared enough to go seek out a copy, despite the fact that they're like, it's not expensive now, but it's not like a cheap PS1 racing game kind of thing. It took a little doing to track one down. I mean, this was a few years back when I did that, but the reason that I was interested in the first place is because I learned that it was a Sony first-party developed thing by SEE. I was like, oh, that's much, much more interesting that this came directly out of Sony, especially relatively early in the PlayStation's life cycle.
Yeah. The back of the box advertises like, you know, the Boxster model
virtual.
It like has like specs of the actual Boxster, but it also says like our, you know, model 3D model Boxster uses garage shading, which is like, I think the first time I ever encountered that phrase. They were really
late to be leaning on that also, by the
way. Well, when you're comparing it to like you know, the early run of PlayStation launch titles, maybe
97
they didn't
feels
all they didn't all do that.
It is a good car
the
model.
cars were like,
it's a good car model.
It's a fantastic car model, and as a kid, what I loved about it was that the chase cam was like right up the car's ass. Like the car was fucking. You hate, yeah. I mean, it makes the game hard to play now, but like as a kid, I loved that the car was gigantic. It was huge. And the characters
China Warrior
were like,
on TurboGrafx. These sprites are amazing.
Yeah.
Sort
the
of
characters
Sodan.
were modeled. Well, it's funny because like we associate like that was a big thing about like especially in like the 2D sprite days, right? Is like the arcade conversion had these big elaborate sprites, and then like they bring them home to Genesis and SNES, and now all of a sudden they're tiny, and you associate that with quality or something. But I don't know, I really dug that, and it helped to like the Boxster as well. So
it's cool, and you notice the chase cams, the cams animated between each one. They didn't just snap to each chase cam; they actually zoom in and out. Like not many games do that. I mean, I remember we did that on the first the Xbox 360 game.
Yeah,
nice.
And it was there's so many bugs associated with things clipping through cars and all that sort of stuff. So it's probably why most games don't do it even today, right? Like Gran Turismo doesn't even do anything like that. It was cool. It was slick. It was a really slick game. And like I was just looking at the cover now, it looks like that could easily be the brochure.
Yeah.
For if you went for showroom, right?
For Speed 2.
Like,
you
it's
guys
really
got
cool.
you guys got
like
the
in all the
better,
presentation.
you get the better manuals that aren't just a slip in the front of the jewel case.
Yeah, like even like the splash screens and loading screens, it looks like you were saying, Adam, it looks like professionally, like it could easily be made by Porsche. Basically.
The cover is like 100% like a Porsche marketing shot.
In fact,
from
it
the
actually may
Boxster's
well be
launch.
a genuine one, right? Yeah, it looks like it probably is.
Yeah. It's like you could go on like a site like WheelSage or
really
something
cool.
like that right now and just find like all of the Porsche marketing
find a
shots
high-res
from like
scan
the
of that thing
1996
somewhere,
and it's in there. And the I mean it extends to everything. Like the UI is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean it's like this game is just like oozes quality, and it's maybe like one of the like racing games at the time didn't necessarily have a lot of cards or tracks or anything like that. I mean, Ridge Racer basically had 2. It was really one,
yeah.
And so you weren't expecting a big number, but at the same time, I feel like, this game it's just so laser focused on one thing, and it just fucking executes it perfectly. I mean, even like the handling model is, I think, not everyone's favorite, but if you ask me, like I think it controls pretty well. If you compare it to other racing games from the time, my God, it's like a generation past a lot of them. I think
there's a real groundedness. I think to the way the physics kind of execute on the road, if that makes sense. You do feel connected to the road, and for a lot of games, I felt as if in the PlayStation 1 racing game wise, you'd almost feel as if you're controlling an object that's floating above the road as opposed to literally on it. And I think that's with this game, for better or for worse in some scenarios. Like obviously there is some kind of really odd skidding behaviour at times and stuff I find at the higher speeds, but it definitely has a kind of an intricate feel to it, especially in simulation mode. Actually, on that point, my favourite track in the whole game is Stuttgart, and it's the very first track that you do, just simply because it's a post-test track, and you get a lot of nice kind of rises and falls, like the gradient of the road changes quite a lot and stuff, and I think that's actually, ironically I guess, because it's where they test cars, it's also where the physics engine feels at its most natural as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's by far the best track, I think.
The
cars have a real weight to them, don't they? Like you said, Brenda, they feel like, we'll talk about Lamborghini later, and that has the opposite. It doesn't have any weight to the feel of the car at all. Whereas this Porsche Challenge, it wasn't until Gran Turismo came along where they really centered on that sort of thing, didn't they? And it was amazing. But it's cool, man. I just remember playing the demo of it, and I bought it when it came out. I actually did buy it. I guess that little bit older than you, Brenda, wasn't pirating games quite so much on PlayStation. but it was
saving up for a CD.
That's right, yeah. but it was cool, man. It was a really interesting game.
I had a really hard time getting on with this one this week. Trying to wrap my head around the handling model for this, and part of that is probably because I was playing a lot of really bad racing games. But like I spent a couple hours with the new GT7 DLC last night to just like clear my head and like feel alive again. Like, what is a car supposed to feel like in a video? Okay, right, yes, I have to ground myself, recalibrate, tear the scale back out to 0, etc. But yeah, Porsche Challenge. It has 2 different handling models. There's arcade and simulation. And it wasn't until, Paul, you reminded me that it has Negicon support, that I sat down with the Negicon and set it to simulation mode and started having a much better time actually feeling like I had control over the vehicle, which is nice. My one problem with the Negicon is that as great as those big, tall, long throw analog AB buttons are, having to pull off of one to hit the other really fast is tough. Because if you're pressed down on the gas, the brake button is still like a column that's above your thumb, so you can't just like push forward to it. You have to like pull off and then move and then push down on it, and like in that time, you've kind of lost the point of analog braking in the first place, and also probably missed your window if you needed to do it really quickly. Or at least that's been my experience as an idiot. But yeah, no, I had a much better time feeling like I had actual control over the vehicle once I switched over to the Negicon. I had a much better time with the game in general.
Yeah, it's a shame you couldn't use the triggers. Actually, although it is weird twisting and using triggers, but I was hoping there was an option in there for it. But using the Negicon means you don't press the fucking horn button every 4 seconds. What? So the PlayStation comes out with what, 4 shoulder buttons, 4 face buttons. That's 8 buttons. The game uses 3 or 4. There's 4 spare. They didn't want to use any of those for the D-pad. Sorry, for the horn. They just wanted to use up on the D-pad because it has no analog support.
Significance, right? It's just a button that plays a sound. Like,
hey, look. They sampled an actual Boxster's horn for that. Okay,
they did.
It's a big fucking deal. They're gonna make sure you heard it, whether you were planning on it or not.
That's why.
Cause climbing underneath it with a bunch of microphones.
Yeah. It's months of work and 50 meetings to get that feature in a game. So,
a whole slew of Germans had to okay it. It was a big deal.
That's right.
Yeah, it's great on. Right. It's a 97 game, so it's pre-Dual Shock, but it does have dual analog support. And I've never had one of those weird long-handled dual analog PS1 controllers, but it does at least. You can still play it with a Dual Shock, and rocking that analog stick back and forth meant I was honking the horn a lot still, because the dead zone for up is like 0, so you're just hitting the horn all the time. It's great.
So hold on, it didn't work with analog. I had this issue, which I found out with the Ridge Racer, that the Japanese Ridge Racer 4 supports Dual Shock, but doesn't support the analog. It just supports vibration, and that's it. But the PAL-M US versions of Ridge Racer 4 support analog steering. I remember we were talking about it earlier this week in the Discord.
Yeah, it's so strange.
So my Porsche Challenge is Japanese, so I wonder if that was a similar thing. But the US version supported analog steering.
I imagine it came out here after Europe, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's. As far as I could find on the NTSC version of this game, if I turned on analog, and I was playing it on a PS3, with the DualShock 3, and I also just emulated it earlier today. In either case, if I turned on analog steering, that also forced me to use the right stick for analog gas and brake, which is something I hate doing. And prevented me from using. It didn't do that to you? Yeah.
I was still like when I was having difficulty with it in the first place. I was steering with a DualShock 1 on a PlayStation, and just gas and brake on X and square.
Weird, because that would be. This game's handling model isn't very. For me, like, I enjoy it, but it's definitely a little bit weightier and more delayed than most other games, and so it doesn't lend itself very well to D-pad tap steering, I feel. Like, if I could choose, like, I could play any of the original Ridge Racers with the D-pad and be fine. Even like R4, which obviously is my favorite handling one, but like this game really, like, that kind of bummed me out. Like, I want to use analog steering for it because it just feels more right for this game, I think.
Yeah.
I thought that's why it feels so good with the Negicon. Or Negicon, yeah, because it's like, yeah, you just feel more connected to it.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a good shout. Thank you, because I was not having a good time with this game, trying to get a hold of it. I didn't think it was bad. It wasn't like, oh, I think this is trash or whatever. I'm just like, I hate this. I hate the time that I'm having with this at the moment, trying to figure out how this game wants me to play it. And as well polished as it is presentationally, like we were talking about, there was still just enough going on with like the doofy characters yelling their weird little like barks at the beginning of a race and everything. I'm just like, just everything about it was just like rubbing me the wrong way just a little bit. So yeah, I didn't start figuring out how to start appreciating what the rest of the game was doing until I could control it and could see past the Stuttgart test track the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's one of those games.
It took a bit of going to beat it, so it's hard.
Yeah, you got to be first in every single event as well, which is like the worst racing game design possible.
It's hard. It is seriously hard. So what they ask you to do basically is there are 4 tracks and there's 3 configurations. There's a short, a long, and an interactive, which basically means that every lap or every other lap, the track will change between using some of the portions of the short version and some of the portions of the long version. And I don't know, like, logistically...
Every lap a Joker lap.
Yeah. Yeah, logistically, I don't know. I mean, the game, I guess, is only really, it's basically, it's an old racing game, or Gran Turismo 7, so it's catch the rabbit style events. And logistically, I don't know if something like that could really work today, because you'd have an entire field that some would have an advantage and some would have a disadvantage, I guess. Because they're all on the same track. It's not like you could just have like, oh, you're on lap 2, you use the long portion, someone else uses the short version. But yeah, it's interesting. It's very unique. You have to come first in every event, and I was having such a hard time on just the normal difficulty. I couldn't get past the second race, and I was like, all right, let me go back and do it in novice, and that was considerably easier. The fortunate thing is there's not really a whole lot to unlock in this game, so it's not like you miss out on anything. Except I guess the black test driver Porsche, right? So
yeah, you unlock a bonus video as well, which describes
that video.
The making of the box. That's prime 90s goodness, man.
I have to really call out the FMVs in this game. I'm sorry I'm talking a lot, but I really do like this game a lot. It means a lot to me. So there's an FMV you can watch in the options menu that's just called View Boxster, and when you do, it's basically like dude talking about the car in very abstract terms, and then like showing some like sketches, and then it goes to Grant Larson, who him and Pinky Lai were like the 2 primary designers of like the 986 and 996 Porsche sports cars at the time. So they basically have like you see Grant Larson like sketching, like doing a very like rudimentary sketch of the car, and he's talking about like how important it was to design this car. And like growing up, I wanted to be a car designer. Like I wrote like reports and stuff when I was like in middle school and whatever about when, you do a report on whatever career you want. Like that's what I wanted to do. And this game showed me that career was possible, even though I didn't end up doing it. So that was really cool. And then, yeah, when you either complete the game, or this game has a ton of cheat codes. You just put in a code and it unlocks everything. So it's very easy if you want to watch that video that you get by beating the game. You can just put in the code, and it's also on YouTube, obviously. And it's like just this really just lovingly crafted, like all these cuts of like classic Porsche motorsports and Porsche cars. And it's set to really good music, because the soundtrack in this game is very good. It was done by Jason Page, who also did the soundtrack for the menus in Gran Turismo 1 in the West. And it's just a great, like that video just makes me so happy. At one point they have like, there's like another version of it where there's like the Porsche test driver, and like the official Porsche test driver, he has some really long German name, and he's standing in the middle of like
Der
a bowl. Yeah, he's got like these like Oakley shades, before they would come to America and ruin fashion here. And the camera's like very quickly
Before
panning around
an icon
him.
of fascism.
Yeah.
What? That's neither here nor there.
And the camera's just panning around him very quickly, and interspersed with cuts of the car on the track, and it's just like it doesn't mean anything now. I wrote a story back when I was writing for GT Planet about this game, and I go into this, but like it doesn't mean anything now to have like a FMV, with like shots of a car or race cars. But like back then, where were you going to see footage of Porsche race cars from the 70s?
Yeah.
You just
Not on the Nintendo 64, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, you just weren't. So like it was cool. I think it informed a lot of my like nerdiness about cars and like auto enthusiast nature and stuff.
Yeah. FMVs were really cool on the PlayStation 1, just because for the reasons you've just said there, Adam, you didn't know what you would get if a game had FMVs, so like this is a perfect example where sure, why not put those videos in this sort of game, and they work really well for just completing the package and giving that brochure feel. I found it so enlightening to see how simple, for example, the Boxster design is and the way the designers talk about it, because in your head you think, oh, there must be loads of considerations in the head about how complex X needs to be or Y needs to be, and then when they talk about it in these terms, obviously for promo purposes, it's still just like, it's very cool, especially when you're younger, to see an adult talking about fucking Porsche that way. It's just like, oh, it's just a box, mate. That's all it is.
Yeah. I think it definitely informed me. I've never been like a crazy Porsche like head person. I'm not, like Jerry Seinfeld about it or whatever. Hopefully not in many ways, but yeah, it's I've never been crazy about Porsche, but I think this game gave me a respect for Porsche from like a very young age and just made it feel like more like I was always more of a Porsche person than like a Lamborghini person. Maybe, as we'll talk about, if Lamborghini's games were better, that would be different. But yeah, it's a special one, and fortunately, it's like hopefully prices haven't changed too much from when you got your copy, Andrew, and probably not. I feel like it was a little bit rarer here because it was like kind of a weird game, and maybe it was a little bit more popular out in the PAL territories and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely pretty popular here.
Yeah. In any case, shouldn't be too hard if you want to get your hands on.
It's like it's going around like 15-ish these days.
Yeah,
in the States, and about like 8 in PAL. I mean, I'm just going off price charting, but
yeah. Do you think that was because it was a European car? I mean, it's even back then, I'm sure Porsche were popular in the US, but obviously with it being a European manufacturer, I think that makes a difference.
I think so. I think I remember it being really weird that this game said like the demo, like when it goes through its attract mode, you see the logo for like SCEE internal development. It felt very European. I mean, it 100% was. So I honestly would not have been surprised if this game, it just feels almost like by accident it was released here. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't come out in the US, but fortunately it did. So
yeah.
I think just the genre here in the States is like racing games either sell gigantic gangbuster Mario Kart numbers or next to nothing. Or not next to nothing, but very, very little. And there's very rarely any in between. Just like the market here for... There is not a ton of interest in motorsport in the way that there is in more civilized parts of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly feel like you don't even like who even buys NASCAR games. Like I know NASCAR fans, and I don't think they've ever played the official NASCAR game, right? So it's you're either
but they'll talk to you about Heat and Thunder and Chase for the Cup from like 02, 04, 05 for years and years.
Yeah, but I'm convinced those people don't watch NASCAR. They
no,
they just play
not,
the game.
Or like if they do, like that's the last one they played. Like,
yeah,
there's some really good ones 20 years ago.
Well, it's like the people talk about wrestling games, and they always bring up that one from the N64, and it's like, I guess
all the hockey stuff from the N64.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I guess, unless anybody else has anything else to say about Porsche Challenge, pretty deep into this episode, so we should probably keep it moving. we should give F355 Challenge some attention.
Yes.
Because it is one of the best. Brent and I did a podcast about this game a very long time ago.
Yeah.
I remember it being a pretty good one. I don't know that I really have anything new to say about it. It's good. And a couple years ago, I got the PS2 version, which felt like a really big... Andrew's holding it up. Felt like a really big get for me, because that was like, for a long time... That was kind of like my white whale retro shopping, as far as a game that, like, yeah, I could go online and buy this, but like I have never seen a copy in person. And I finally did. Yeah, I hadn't. I think I ended up paying like 30 for it or something. It wasn't super cheap either. This was like 2019 or something. So even this is going back some years, but yeah, I have both. I have that and the Dreamcast one, and it's great.
Nice.
Yeah, and playing them back to back, like, because I'd never played the PS2 one until like this past couple of weeks. I had the Dreamcast one. This is my original copy here from back in the day. It doesn't look as good as the Dreamcast, and has slower loading.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, anti-aliasing is non-existent, but it does have more tracks. It has the tracks from, I assume, Ferrari Challenge 2,
The
right?
Dreamcast one also has them, but you have to unlock them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But
right, I must have forgotten that, but yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that the PS2 one has.
It's got a chase cam.
Yes, yeah. Right. So that's a big thing. Is like, and again, we're going back to like Adam playing racing games when he's a kid. He loved that the Porsche Boxster was huge in that game, and in this game there's no chase cam. So that made me. That was really upsetting to me when I was a child. But
I should clarify, I only played Porsche Challenge with the chase cam once I got the hang of it. Or with the bumper cam, I mean.
With the bumper cam, yeah. It controls better from the bumper cam for sure. But yeah, on the PS2 they give you a chase cam. Now I feel like the first time I actually experienced this game with the chase cam, I was like, oh, this is why this game didn't have one, because it wasn't designed to have one, and it looks weird. It doesn't look like the control from the driver's seat. This game feels great. Feels very responsive. Feels very organic. Feels like a pretty good simulation from the time.
You say so?
From the back of the car, it does not. It looks stiff.
Yeah.
It just looks like it wasn't designed for that. But I guess they were like, people want a chase cam, so we'll give them a chase cam.
It still plays great. Like playing in car, it still feels really satisfying to play, and it's like it's not. It's not like a modern, like playing GT or something. It's very different, but it still feels good to drive around. You can lose grip, you can regain grip, you can feel the tires going, and all that sort of stuff. It's not just like snap on or snap off. And I still think the quick action for the assist is really cool. It's like, oh yeah, I had this, and you can just do it as you're racing around it. Cool. It's great.
Yeah,
you can just modify it as you go around, and same as in the arcade. I played a lot of it in the arcade. And that was the coolest thing about it. Originally, obviously, you could play it in the arcade, then play at home. Same as you could with a lot of Dreamcast games of that era. It was brilliant, and it was very close to it. It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that I had the Dreamcast port, but I don't. I only have the PS2 version, unfortunately. But I have played a good amount of the arcade one over the last couple of years. There is a deluxe cab of that at GameWorks here downtown.
Oh, the triple screen, right?
I think is the only GameWorks remaining in the United States, I believe, is the one here downtown Seattle.
Oh, wow.
It's not a good arcade, but they do have a kind of poorly maintained triple monitor F355 Challenge deluxe cab there, which is a really good way to embarrass yourself in front of your friends when they're like, oh, you're the racing game guy, right? And you're like, yeah, I'll hop in here, and this is the slipperiest thing I've ever touched. I have no idea where I'm going, just spinning out all over the place, which is usually my first couple runs whenever I touch any version of this game. It's like it's going to be really, really messy around whenever, like, I remember Suzuka or Catalunya or whatever. There's a specific hill in my mind that I remember being like the problem every time I fired this up for the first time. But
it's always very satisfying, even if you only made 2 spaces in the race. Like, you weren't annoyed that you couldn't win it, because it was fucking hard to win in the race in that game.
Yeah, it's a hard game.
But you felt satisfying to make that progress. It's interesting. Because it came back, right, that Yu Suzuki bought a F355 and wanted it, and took it
exactly
and drove it
yeah.
on. It did race days on it, right? Track days on it. I assume it was Suzuka, because probably where closest track to where he lived or whatever.
Probably.
And came back make this game. That's
Yeah,
cool.
like,
That's a really cool story, right? That he has that was sort of his influence at Sega at the time. He could do that.
Imagine having that much pull anywhere.
I mean, we've got recently had a new Kirby game come out from the same sort of thing, right? I just want to do this, and
yeah, that is
same
basically
sort of thing.
yeah, this little pet project there. Except in this case, this was Yu Suzuki being like, "What I paid for in money, you will pay for in sweat and blood."
And the music, we've got to talk about the music.
Yeah,
I mean, and the radio, the DJ.
It's the Shenmue 2 butt rock band. It's Japanese Guns N' Roses. It's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. It's got a music off button. It's great.
It's for that it's in the menu.
If you turn the music off, you're a coward. Yeah. It's terrible, but it's part of the
fact that it's in the menu is like the immediate there on the pause menu to say music. They knew.
It's like you probably want to turn this off, right? Yeah, no. It's if you don't leave this music on, I'm sorry.
Illegal.
You will be too weak to survive the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to look up. I thought I had read some story about like Yu Suzuki pitching this game to Ferrari, and like I don't know, them being sort of against it. But I might be conflating this with like.
Isn't that why Outrun was not originally? I mean, they did put the little horse on the back of the car anyway, and they changed it to the little bird thing later. But
I think I might actually be conflating this with Sega Rally. But
that was the next thing I was going to say.
Yeah, the machine though. I wanted to find this quote because I've only played like an actual F355 cab like probably like 3 times in my life.
Fly back out here, bud.
Yeah, well, I didn't know you guys had a GameWorks. That's
we need a road trip. Brendan and I will fly.
Yeah. Quad up.
You want to see a Soul Calibur 3 machine with the most faded monitor of your entire life? Come down to Seattle GameWorks. Play Cruise and Blast and 2 broken versions of what am I thinking of? Afterburner Climax.
Oh damn, that game's good.
Got a 4-player Daytona 2 machine with every car is broken in a different way. It's like this one's got a steering wheel. This one's got steering left. This one's got gas. This one's got brakes.
So I had to find, because I wrote a story about Bring a Trailer, which is a site that has devolved into like people overbidding on the stupidest cars that don't deserve. I mean, also some cars that are actually very expensive, but also people dropping like $40,000 on a base Honda Civic with a couple of miles from like 30 years ago.
Before I got my Civic, I tried to get a CRX that was imported over from Japan with like 1,000 miles on it that was like right next to my house. And it was so cheap, and I was so... It didn't happen.
An F355, every now and then Bring a Trailer will have like an arcade game or something, and they had an F355 challenge cab, so I wrote that they were selling this. And I never noticed, but like I was looking at pictures of the machine and everything, and there's like this whole screed that's like written by Yu Suzuki that's like on the seat backs, and it goes, over the years I've made many driving games, and it has always been my aim to produce a driving game in which pro drivers would be able to beat game enthusiasts. After 10 years I have finally been able to achieve this goal. With the assistance of Ferrari and many pro drivers, I have created a machine that is more like an actual racing simulator than a game, and I hope that this game will evoke the same level of feeling and passion as that of an actual Ferrari. I now present this game for the enjoyment of all motorsports fans around the world. And that's got a signature.
That's
fucking
cool.
pretty cool.
Very powerful.
Now please enjoy while I step away to do some insider trading.
I thought that was... Yu Suzuki also did that? I thought that was Yuji Naka.
Oh, hold on a minute. Now we're going to get in trouble.
It was Yuji Naka.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Okay, edit this out. I'm sorry. I thought that for a second, and I was like, no, that's Yuji Horii. That's a Dragon Quest guy. What am I doing?
New episode title, Adam. We get sued.
Yeah, his biggest crime.
I mixed up the 2 big Sega guys.
Right.
Right. Yeah. That's.
But
I actually forgot that came out the other day, and I made a joke about Shenmue 3, and I was like, oh wait, no, that.
And there's a trailer for Shenmue 4 if you believe the bullshit. That is. Unless it's going to be tomorrow night. Maybe we say that now.
My new thing. I want to start calling for Shenmue 5.
It'll be tomorrow night.
well, there's There's supposed to be like 12 chapters
Yeah.
or something, right? So
Isn't Shenmue 2 like four chapters or something? Fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's like half of it.
I backed Shenmue 3. I don't know what year was that? Like 2016? And yeah.
It was PS4 game.
I think it was before then. It was that.
No, it was
E3 where they had Last Guardian and Final Fantasy. Yeah,
2015.
Last Guardian came out
yes, it was 2015 because it was a proper trailer for Last Guardian, Final Fantasy 7 remake, and Shenmue.
That was a crazy E3
the crazy
where
E3.
Sony dropped all those games at their conference. I backed it,
Yeah,
and then
that second, absolutely.
I got my code and never played it.
Never played it. Mine's still sealed upstairs.
As you do.
Yeah.
I like F355 Challenge. Good game.
It's really good.
Weird game. Good game. This game does not feel very much like Ferrari had much to do with it. It feels more like what Yu Suzuki, that he had everything to do with it. So different
100% a vanity project from Mr. Suzuki.
Yeah.
Which again, great. I love that just some random not random obviously, but like a person, a director had that much pull at Sega at the time to be able to do something this ridiculous. Has always been very funny to me, but I guess it's like a Spielberg thing or Cameron or whatever. It's like, you've made enough money doing the other stuff for us. Yeah, we'll let you do another thing on the side or whatever as well. But like, that still feels like an impossible thing to expect these days.
Yeah.
Again, outside of Kirby Air Riders being kind of the one like Sakurai pet project that's like, okay, that's maybe the closest thing that we've had in a very long time. I'm struggling to think of something else that's just been like a blank check within a company like this, as opposed to like a Hideo Kojima going out and finding a new funding or whatever after the whole Konami incident.
I do think Gran Turismo has kind of been that for Sony for a very long time. I think maybe lately they're starting to reel it in, but like they let Kaz spend a lot of money for decades.
Yes.
I think it sold so much that it was okay. They were okay with it, right? Because it literally sold PlayStations.
But they're still doing the esports thing, and it's just like, God, they're really okay with burning all this cash. All right,
putting
on these big events.
I guess it's just marketing, right? It's literally their marketing budget. Because they probably don't need to advertise a game that much because it just sells itself. GTA will sell itself, but they can spend that budget on shipping people around the world, using Fanatec wheels to race.
Yeah.
Mad.
All right.
We should talk
about. We've got a lot of games to get through here.
I think we've reached garbage time.
Get ready.
What better to kick off garbage time than with Automobili Lamborghini for the N64, which Paul, I think, drove Paul to insanity.
Which is, I have the Japanese one, which is
you poor bastard.
Super Speed Race 64, actually.
I love it, that giant Taito logo on there too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
I love that they're
next to Titus
the
Fox.
label has like the sky and Super Speed Race 64 and the Lamborghini Bull, but like nobody was like, hey, let's put a car on this.
Yeah, no car. Don't worry about the car. Don't worry about it.
No, very empty.
I mean, based on how the cars look in the game, again, the same year that Gran Turismo came out, this came out in 97.
See, I played this admittedly on an emulator earlier today, which may be doing a little bit of improving, but I've never thought this game was quite as bad as everyone says it is, and I still don't. I don't think it's good, but like, for the N64, I mean, come on. This is a system that has like, elaborately shaded boxes, driving around at like 7 frames per second half the time. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I guess probably I wasn't looking. Yeah, I was playing on the analog 3D, obviously, and which will give it probably the best look it could. Apart from the 4K or internal, a 4K internal upscale, which the analog doesn't do, obviously. Yeah, I just thought it looked rough, and it's the handling. Like we've gone from Porsche Challenger, which has just quite a nice weighty feel to it. Something that's you talk a little bit in the cars, just there's like this instant grip on the tires I have. There's no progression in the grip fall off or gain or anything. It's just this instant left and right behavior. It's very strange. But
who developed this? Was this a Titus joint?
Yeah.
Like they.
It's French,
I didn't play this one,
French,
but I'm looking at gameplay footage, and it
questions.
just has like zero sauce to it. By the looks of it, like there's just like no real personality going on here.
I think that's what Nintendo Power said at the time.
Yeah.
7 out of 10, sauceless. I think that's the lowest number they were allowed to give. Legally,
so Adam, you must have played this quite a bit in the day, right? You had it.
No, so this was a weird one. This was one of those games that I rented for my local video store maybe once or twice, but I never owned. I didn't like it at the time. I actually think I find it easier to play now than I did when I was a kid. Like I actually, again, I think it's all right. Like it's boring. The races are all, for some reason, they default to 6 laps long.
6 laps, yeah.
And the events are not like, it's not interesting enough to sustain that. Like you just fall asleep, and also like the novice AI, you could pretty much like maybe it's if you keep playing. I didn't really play it that much before this, but like maybe it's like a real challenge later on. But the novice AI is pretty much just like you can not lap the field, but you can beat them just by staying on track. I think the problem, as Paul's alluding to, is that staying on track can be a little difficult. So sometimes it feels like you're fighting more of the physics than you are the other competitors. And there's this really annoying thing that happens where you have all of the grip in the world when you're on the asphalt, but if you just like go off into the grass a little bit, you'll spin. And it's infuriating.
Yes. But then you get on the pits and do the pit mini game to refill.
Yeah, this game has a big like pit mini game. That's a part of it. I remember that confused me a lot when I was a kid. Like it would say tires worn. I didn't know what that meant. I do think though, I was playing this earlier, and what I found was that it says tires worn. You need to pit now, and that's really just a suggestion. You don't have to pit, and you shouldn't, because the game doesn't. The cars handle badly all the time, so if they get 10% worse because your tires are worn, it really doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, I never pitted. I pitted a couple of times to try it out, but you never, like you say, you never needed to. It's weird.
Is it just a Diablo you can play as?
Wow.
No.
There's a Lamborghini, there's a Countach and a Diablo.
That's what I was going to say. I seen the
Porsche 959 and a McLaren F1.
Oh.
And
so a supercar challenge
and a Ferrari. What's the Ferrari you get, Adam? But
there's an F50.
Right?
Well,
F50.
No, there's an F50. There's a Bugatti EB110.
The Testarossa.
There's 959. Oh, there's Testarossa too. There's a 512.
What happened to Automobili
Lamborghini? That's what I was
Lamborghini?
wondering. Yeah. Why is there no tractors and stuff in this game? Surely, if you're going to have the Lamborghini tractors, it would be in this game.
It actually has more non-Lamborghini cars than Lamborghini cars, which is pretty hilarious.
Great.
Yeah. And I'm not now. The other cars aren't licensed though, and I think that's probably the one distinction. And yeah, because I mean, I don't think we're really going to talk about another game where that's the case, where it's like licensed for one brand, but it has other brands' cars in it.
World Racing would probably be the one I don't think we're talking about that one, but that one had a lot of Mercedes-Benz cars, didn't it?
We'll get there.
Oh, we are talking about it. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Jumping
ahead.
Andrew had
right here in front of me.
Andrew had to suffer through it, so we're gonna talk about it.
I went sure not to touch that again. I went out of my way not to touch that one.
Yeah.
If I remember the Flashback 64 episode on Automobili Lamborghini, they were kind of just like, well, I mean, this early in the N64 life, there have been so few racing games that this one is like fine. It's acceptable at the time that it came out.
That's like.
It's weird that it looks like it's a street racing game, which is very strange, and the cars do not look scaled properly, let's say.
I get that.
I would describe this game as a 90s midway arcade racer suffering from just crippling depression.
I mean,
yeah, I guess. I mean, Midway.
Look at footage of this game and tell me it is not in dire need of
Oh,
SSRIs.
it's very depressing for sure. I just feel like Midway games are like they're a different kind of. They're like sleazy. Like this game doesn't feel sleazy. It just feels.
Oh, I just meant like it doesn't have the like energy and excitement and stuff of a Rush, but like in terms of the way the car looks and moves on the track and the way that it kind of pivots on a central axis. With the weird like off-road looking tires sticking out everywhere, it's just like something about this is just like
Hey, look, what I think is really funny.
It's got a nice little lens flare.
Yeah, what I think is really funny is they try to amp up the excitement with music that I guess this is actually a similarity with Rush. It's some of it's cursed. Like the menu song is just horrid and awful. It's the worst. It's like among the worst things you could hear on the N64. And to spice it up, they just have the samples of the announcer saying like, "Look out, let's go," like playing over and over and over again. Like those are the vocals.
Cycle through every audio file.
Yeah, they go through every audio file in the folder in this song, and it makes you want to tear your hair out.
Yeah.
Not great.
I was just thinking about the cars, right? So it came out in '97. So you have the Countach and the Diablo, and the only the Lambo before there was a Miura, obviously, but there wasn't. The Lamborghini didn't make a lot of cars, right? The Countach was a '70s car that ran it right up until mid '80s.
There were some cars in the '70s and the '80s that a game that we'll talk about next had, but. Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, they only had the two cars that Lamborghini was offering at the time.
Yeah,
and that I think is part of the problem here. Like, I didn't get around to Ford Racing, and I know Andrew played some of it, so we'll talk about that later, maybe. But like, at least I remember that game had like concepts and shit. I feel like if you're gonna do a game that's like based on a brand, like do something cool with that brand. Like have like weird concept cars that people don't know about, or like other things. Like this game is just like, here are the two cars we currently sell.
Yeah, and some Ferraris and McLaren.
And then better cars from other companies. Yeah.
This game actually reminds me of another single make racing game that I totally forgot about until I seen the gameplay footage of this one. There's a PlayStation 2 budget title called Noble Racing. I don't know if this came out in the US.
Noble had its own racing game.
Oh my god.
Noble had its own racing game. It was made by Midas, and it was basically GTR 400, if any of you guys have played that, but just with the Ascari car removed as well. So
wow.
I feel like a part 2 coming up.
Yeah, if you look up gameplay footage of Noble Racing, you'll see why I see the similar sort of vibe from this game. It has that weird scale issue you were talking about, Andrew. It's very sauceless. It's like 2 cars in the whole game, all the nobles. It's yeah.
Oh yeah, this looks like something special.
Special in many ways. Yeah. It's not a good one.
I will give Titus. I was like Titus and Midas, but no, this developer is called Titus. I'll give them a little bit of credit because like I think Roadsters is a pretty bad game on every platform. But if you look at the N64 version, that game actually looks pretty good on N64. Like for an N64 game, it actually looks like halfway decent. Maybe they had more technical chops necessarily than physics or game design chops. I actually completely forgot about there was a game called, it was sold here as Corvette Evolution GT. I think elsewhere it was just Evolution GT. Yeah. That game. So because that game was designed to have cars from multiple makes, when they brought it here and they just gave it the Corvette label, it still has those other cars, but it just has Corvette on the cover. So I guess that's a different way that this can happen.
Okay.
Evolution GT is the only racing game I've seen that has a direct quote from a racing driver on the cover.
Oh, what's a quote?
It's
who's the driver?
Gabriele Tarquini, right?
It's not what you drive, but how you drive.
Brilliant. Great. Classic.
Put it on the cover.
I think other people have said that. I don't think he's the only person who ever said that.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they see that in Fast and Furious and something.
I find this hard to believe. That is that is not written on the front of the North American cover of the Nintendo DS port. I'm finding.
Whoa,
Shocking.
Whoa, what?
They couldn't
There's a DS port.
I
They couldn't
know.
fit it on the back, 'cause it's too small.
Bren loves bad DS games.
No way. I need to play that.
It looks like it only came out in North America. What in the world?
Wait, have I played? I'm going to need to go back and check.
Have I already?
Yes,
chewed
I
on
have.
this
I
gargle?
have actually played this game because I remember the bottom
Perfect.
screen would just show the fucking track map and zero other details when you were
Yeah.
driving. Incredible.
Using all of the DS hardware there. I'll never forget when Bren blew my head off and revealed that the game that he kept calling Total Driving for a number of episodes was Car and Driver presents World Tour Racing 98.
Yeah.
Right.
Classic Utenics.
Technics.
Speaking of Corvette, that game that was just called a Corvette on PS2 and Xbox. I don't have a copy. I found a PS2 copy on a free table at Bungie years and years ago. Took it home and played a little bit, and then came back and put it back on the free table for someone else to throw in the recycling bin. That game is not good. It was one of the first to have insignia support on Xbox, so I burned a copy and played it once that way as well, and had a bad time. Although the novelty of using insignia for the first time was still really awesome. Anyway, I don't think we need to get into the game that was literally just called
hold
Corvette,
on.
but it's
I
not
have
good.
to ask the good people of Insignia that are enabling us to play these games online. Why did they pick Did they pick Corvette because they're like, here's a game that if someone accidentally played this through Insignia, it wouldn't matter because no one's going to do that because no one likes this game. Like, why'd they pick Corvette?
I don't know. There was just kind of a random smattering of games at the beginning that were open and like working first. I have no
Okay.
idea what the development process was for choosing what was like easier to get online, because they're going one game at a time and getting all that stuff done individually, and their goal is for to hit 100% compatibilities. But I don't know what that like prioritization process looks like or why Corvette was up front. But no, I played that and a couple other random things there with Casey and a few other people that first like weekend or whatever. But that was the last time that I played Corvette, a game that sucks.
So there's the. Should we move? Let's move on.
So I wanted to talk very quickly about a game that I was determined to play for this, and I did play it a little bit. I said earlier there was another Lamborghini game, and there was for the Xbox. It didn't come out. It was developed by Rage Software, who I don't know a whole lot about. They were based in the UK, and they made a couple of different racing games. I think they were mostly on the PC. But when the company folded, this game was finished and it wasn't released. And they later, I think some people from the company formed a new studio, and that ended up being Juice Games, which of course made Juiced, which we all love and hold dear to our hearts. But
Of course.
yeah, Lamborghini is weird. I mean, this game was done. It was an Xbox exclusive. There's a prototype that, thanks to Hidden Palace, like it came out, and it's like, I think it was like given to like beta testers to test the Xbox Live compatibility. So you can, I'm assuming it's possible to play this on Insignia or something, maybe. It's at least it should technically be impossible, or technically be possible. It's not a very great game. I think for being an early Xbox game, relatively early, and being one of like probably what would have been one of the first Live games, I think, because Live was like late 2002, right?
Yeah.
I think it's fine enough, but yeah, there's no real heat on it. I think like graphically speaking, it looks all right. You know, the reflections are kind of nice. The damage is there. You have now a number of Lamborghini models, a lot of that shit from like the 80s that like nobody really thinks about, like the Yelpa and the Urraco and all that stuff. It's basically the same car like 5 different times, but like with different body panels. And then yeah, it goes all the way up to Murcielago. And it's just, I would liken it most to like if you guys have played Apex or Racing Evoluzione. It's kind of like that, but less fun. And that's really all I can say about it. It has this weird like does kind of a Porsche challenge thing where there are different characters, except these don't feel so much as like, you know, demographic archetypes from marketing. They feel more just like characters that rage through in there, and they're all different people who own Lamborghinis, and you're racing against them every single race and championship. And you know, there might be some racist stereotypes in there. In fact, there are. And they look ugly because they're like just awful 3D character models.
Yeah.
It seems wild to me that they would be pushing a big Lamborghini showcase piece the year prior to launching the Gallardo.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a late 90s thing. I had to look it up a few minutes ago to see that didn't come out till 03.
Yeah.
Which is wild because, like, I think of when I think of the Gallardo, I think of the Hot Pursuit 2 cover.
Well, yeah, that was the Murcielago, and
was it okay? Well, then I'm just
no,
stupid.
but like, I mean, it makes sense. Like, this is my issue with this game is like Need for Speed 2 had the Cala, which is a car that never came out. It was a concept car, and they were going to put into production. They never did. This game just has like a couple cars from the 80s nobody really cares about, and then the Miura, and then few versions of the Diablo and the Countach and the Murcielago, and that's it. Like, it doesn't. I feel like they could have done more. I mean, Lamborghini has a lot of like really interesting concepts, like things that were like going to be the next like basically like successors to like the Diablo and stuff that they killed, or successors to like the Countach that they killed. They could have done that, but instead it's just, you know, here are the Lamborghinis. So
and all the race cars, right? There's a big history of motorsport.
All right.
There are some, yeah, and there are some race cars in the game actually.
Okay.
I don't really know. I tried to go through. It doesn't play very well on Zemu, which is the only way I could play this because I don't know. I wasn't gonna go through a trouble of getting a beta Xbox game to run on original hardware, and this wouldn't be worth it anyway because it's not very good. But
you should have sent me a link. I would have FTP'd it over to the hard drive on my main Xbox.
I 100% sent a link in our chat, and you just didn't see it.
I don't read. I totally missed that.
I even went to the trouble of, because you have to patch the XBE because it has these like non-retail keys or something like that, and I did all that, and I was like, hey, so yeah, if you want to give that a try, go for it, but don't expect to have fun because it's not really fun.
I wonder why it didn't come out. It's weird.
Buddy, I ain't here to have
if
fun.
it just run out of money or something, because with a contract of elite like a manufacturer behind it, you'd have thought it would just. It's going to ship, right? And these days, not so much, but back then, it's quite interesting. But it wouldn't be interesting to read up on that or what happened. But I remember that. I'm pretty sure there's a demo in the UK, at least, on the Xbox magazine.
Yes,
and stuff.
Yeah, actually, it did have a magazine demo.
I remember people being reasonably hyped at work about it and stuff. Because before, like Gotham 2 was in between 1 and 2, pretty sure. Based on the years,
I think looking back on it, this game was really like they were counting on live to be the reason why people would play it. Okay. Like, because it really doesn't have a whole lot outside of that. And like, it's funny. There's like, oh, you can go into your garage and like modify your cars, and you go in there, and the only things you can do, the options are paint, car, or sell. So it's like, well, it clearly was like supposed to be like, hey, people can
big modifications.
Can do, you know, online racing for the first time, so that will carry this.
Yeah. And probably would have done right, at least for a while, until PGR2.
PGR, until PGR just that game is so good.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Ate their lunch,
all right, moving on. What's next?
Indeed.
What you got on that pile?
I have no idea.
I think I got one. Should we do the? Because I feel like if we're going down in the order, well, this is better than the Lamborghini games, but if we're going to devolve, before we go further, we should talk about Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli.
Yeah,
because it's okay. It's cromulent.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
It's fine. The System 3 racing game that I remember was a really big deal. It wasn't a really big deal, but it was big on the PS3 because it was a PS3 for that generation. Well, no, I guess unless you count the Wii. But like this game didn't have a 360 port, which is really weird. It was on the PS3, the Wii, and the PS2. And if you were waiting for Gran Turismo 5, like I was, or GT5 Prologue, you got this game.
Yeah.
And it was fine. 30 frames per second, so it hasn't aged very well in that respect, but it was all right.
Yeah, handled it fine.
Yeah, I quite like this one. It definitely has that whole this is a simulation because it's very difficult to drive the car thing going on at times. Like the handling could be better, but I also think that it's for a budget title ultimately, because I don't think it was full price. But it was never full price. Whenever I seen it in shops anyway. I think it offers a pretty decent racing experience. It does have one of those chase cams you were talking about earlier, Adam, as well, where the like fucking right up the car's ass. Like you're pretty much right at the fucking rear view mirror.
It's like dynamic too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate dynamic cameras. They just make me sick.
But it has a lot of camera views. It does have quite a few.
Does.
Yeah.
Including in-car one, that's actually pretty good.
About it.
Yeah, the in-car one's pretty good. I played it on the Wii as well. I liked it. I mean, again, it runs at 30-ish.
I need to try the Wii
and
version.
it's similar. It's very similar. Yeah, it's all right. It's driving around Magello, perfectly, enjoyable. It's all right. Yeah, surprise. It's not like that. It's like the opposite of that Lamborghini game.
The racing experience is good as well. The actual on-track racing with the AI
and AI is good.
It even
Yep.
has a flag system as well, so it's got yellow flags and stuff too.
It does,
so
and if you cut corners, you get penalties and it slows you down.
Yeah,
and it's got like orchestral music in the menus, which make it all fancy. Close-up cameras of the car, which I quite like that. I think that's pretty cool. The car model's not brilliant, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to revisiting this one. I haven't fired it up in a couple of years. I think this is probably like a thrift store find or something. I had no idea this was coming out at the time. I didn't have a PS3 at the time anyway. But with long story short, was having some hardware issues last night where my receiver is just like not wanting to recognize the RetroTink 4K for whatever reason. So I could not fire up the PS Triple. But yeah, I remember thinking it was pretty cool, but yeah, I guess I'll have to give that another shot some other time. I really do want to see how that Wii port compares as well.
For sure.
Because at least the PS3 one boasts native 1080p output on
1080p.
Which is
12 gig install.
Customize the cars as well.
Yeah, one thing I remember quite liking about the game, because I had this for PS3 and I played it a bit back in the day, and then eventually, I don't know, sold my copy or something like that, and meant to get one before this, but wasn't able to. I remember it was cool that this game actually does have like a pretty comprehensive like breadth of Ferrari cars.
It's got 50 cars in it.
Yeah, and like that spans like it's got old shit, really it's got new shit, it's got like racing only homologation special shit. It's cool. And like now, like these days, like all of those cars are in various racing games. Back in 2007, you really didn't see a lot of racing games that had like, like the 250 GTO and stuff like that. It was pretty cool for the time.
Yeah, Ferrari are pretty rare. I mean, they weren't in GT at all. Well, I can't remember when Gran Turismo got Ferrari, but not in at least a big catalog of them.
I believe this was the era when I think
GT5.
Dan Greenwald or somebody at like Turn 10 or Microsoft was like, yeah, we have the exclusive Ferrari license, but we let other studios use it or something, which felt weird.
Right.
I remember reading a quote like that or something like that.
Okay.
And yeah, so because Microsoft had this like weird, like they had a better relationship with Ferrari, to my understanding, than like other companies or like special privileges or something. I'm not really sure. It wasn't like Porsche, where like with Porsche, like EA were the only ones that could use it up until like GT Sport
for a long time, right?
Yeah. So
this game, just in terms of being like a Ferrari showcase as well, the game also had like do you guys in the US get top trumps?
I know what you're talking about, but
but I'm aware of it. Yeah.
The game had a full collection of collectible virtual trading cards.
Challenge cards.
The full Ferrari roster as well, and you could do fake battles in like online lobbies before you started the race and stuff. You could battle other people's cards and that sort of thing. So yeah, it was just like, in terms of just attention to the brand, I guess, which is one of the key criteria we're sort of passively judging these games on. I think for a game that could easily have just been another phoned in thing that come a lot later, like Supercar Challenge and stuff. I think Ferrari Challenge that came on the scene, it actually did represent the brand pretty well.
The first release of Outrun 2 on Xbox also had kind of a top trumps thing where you could get Ferrari trading cards and they had like stats on them. I don't think you could play a game, but yeah, similar kind of.
No, I think it was like a collectible thing because it was just like they were adding things in there to do for a console port of an arcade game, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I quite liked that. There was a lot of cars that weren't even in the game as well, which was a shame because I remember at the time one of the first cards I got was something I was like, I can imagine this maybe being in the game, but yeah, it's pretty cool. The weird thing, if I recall, was you couldn't actually see how many cards there were in the game to like complete your collection.
Oh, really?
So it was just sort of like you could get duplicates as well. So maybe I was in the wrong part of the menu, but
they wanted you to believe it was infinite. There were all of Ferrari's future cars are also in the game too.
If you go back, they've just been adding it like ever since.
Yeah, I remember this game also had Mont Tremblant, which it had a couple of tracks that you don't see in a lot of racing games, so that was pretty neat. And they were all like real tracks, I think. I don't think there were any fictional ones.
Oh,
race. I can recall as well.
Doesn't make me want to go.
The race instructor is Tiff Nadal.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yep.
The physics were tested directly by Bruno Senna.
Yeah, Bruno Senna. Yep.
The oh my god, I might have to find this and send it to you guys. And maybe, I don't know if we should do a live reactions thing, but I think I shared this with Brent a long time ago. Do you remember the trailer for Supercar Challenge?
Yes.
Do you remember how awful it was? There's like, it's a really bad trailer, and it's like,
stream.
Yeah, it's we watched on stream. That's what we did. Yeah, it has like Tiff Nadell's voice in it, and the music's really bad, and it's like almost like it's a game that came out like 15 years earlier because it's just like including modes such as time trial and split screen.
This is just another racing game.
Yeah, it's what.
The thing I love about System 3 is, for whatever reason, they absolutely love their branding on their stuff. Like, if you watch that Supercar Challenge trailer, if you look at this game, the very first close-up of the Ferrari car is System 3. And they're just like, the official game from System 3.
Yeah.
It's like, alright.
Are you guys more...
I love that that's on the cover twice. Because it's printed on the car in the background, as well as just being a normal logo bug down at the bottom.
Published by Activision in the US, sorry. I've seen that there.
Are we more familiar with System 3? Because I wasn't aware of this company at all.
No.
But they have a bit of a history in the UK.
Yeah, Technics, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, but they're not the same as Technics, though.
No, they're different.
Right?
They're different developer.
Yeah, but they're often paired together for whatever reason.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I picked this up when I saw it is because I was like, I assumed it might be some kind of follow-up to, the Sega game. And seeing the Technics logo on the back, I was like, well, this is probably at least fine. So,
like you can race.
The level of fine is different from Technics than for other developers.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but I was like, this will at least be worth messing around with.
You got the North American series, the European series, and the Italian series. They're separate from Europe. They're special. They have their own continent for this.
Yeah, no one's ever bought a Ferrari in Asia. It's never happened.
Yeah, they're voting for Le Italio exit. So it's a whole other. Are we still making Brexit jokes in 2025? Sorry,
why not?
We can.
Why not?
Sort of fucking mess. So yeah, absolutely. Right.
All right. Garbage time. We're fully in garbage time.
Let's go, Garbo
like
mode.
3 minutes a game from here on out. That might still be too long.
At most. All right, where do we start?
Bren, tell me about the snowmobile game.
Oh, God.
Yes, that's what I want to hear about.
Yeah, so Polaris Snowcross. Imagine Sledstorm if it was worse in every way possible, basically.
Done.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's like, there was definitely an era of PlayStation 1 specific games where it was like, they would take a concept that could be really exciting and fun, and then just implement it in the most like banal way possible that's just like not very fun, very slow paced, graphics are horrendous, terrible soundtrack of course, goes hand in hand with all that. It's just like, yeah, it's a really weird one for me because once again, when we talk about FMVs and stuff, there's an FMV intro that shows how exciting Snowcross can be. And if you didn't even know what Snowcross was, which let's be honest, in that time period, definitely a lot of people, especially in the UK.
I thought they invented it for this game.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they invented it. The real thing turned out to be better than the game. It's weird how it goes that way. But it looks really exciting, obviously, because it can be very exciting, as we know in some other games. Not here. It's just like, it goes down that route. We talked about how some simulations think difficult is realistic, but you also get boringness is realistic, and this one's more in the, this is boring. The best thing about it is you can fall off the sled, which is pretty funny. What I did find out was there's actually a PC version of the game which looks infinitely better, but I tried kind of haphazardly to try and emulate it, and it was an absolute nightmare. I looked it up online and found a YouTube video with like 40 views where somebody doing commentary said it took them absolutely ages to get it to run.
Literally looking at that right
Oh yeah,
now,
nice, there we go.
44
yeah,
views.
yeah. So the PC version actually looks pretty decent, I would say. Just like, it's got that nice, clean visual look
infinitely better
that a lot of PC games in that kind of 2000 to 2003 era kind of had. I wish I could have played that one because the PlayStation 1 game looks like ass, plays like ass.
I just watched a footage of a PS1 game, and they crashed their rider, and then the camera like shifts and looks down at the rider, but like next to them is a tree. And you know how like Billboard like 2D sprite trees follow the camera? This tree is now like flat on the ground. It doesn't make sense.
Amazing.
The PC one looks great. Like that's the thing. Like it actually looks pretty fun. Yeah. Like there's the tricking system and stuff in the PC version looks a lot smoother compared to the PlayStation game, but it's basically non-existent. What's funny is the PC version's called a budget release. Like when I was looking at a news kind of PR release about, the main version is being released on PlayStation, but the budget release will come to PC soon. And the PC one does actually look okay. So I'm kind of gutted I didn't get to play that version, but I wouldn't be running out to play this one. It's an oddity.
Yeah, I played it on it
too. Just
on
looks
N64
so
on
slow.
a summer cart.
Oh yeah,
and it's very similar to.
Yeah, on PS1 it looks
similar to what you're saying. The trick system is basically. No,
I didn't really have a clue what was going on.
No, and it felt like the first lap you kept going. The first race I did, you just get downhill constantly, but then you end up back at the start again. It's like, hold on a minute, that doesn't make any sense. That's not possible.
The Twilight Zone.
It's really weird.
Do you feel like you got a good handle of the Polaris brand, having played this game, Brent?
I mean,
you know what Polaris is about?
Absolutely. My Polaris Snow Sled is actually coming later this week. So, I'm locked in.
They sent it to you for review. Yeah.
I didn't realise what the Polaris brand was all about until I had to ride a snowcross vehicle through an abandoned mine shaft, and then I realised what they were going for as a company. So it's
I can't believe the N64 version is running.
It does run smoothly.
Yeah, it looks a lot better.
It's got a good frame rate.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Does.
Not even just the performance. I mean, like the literal, like speed of movement, of locomotion, just looks so much faster here than it does on PS1.
Honestly, it looks like Cool Brothers 1, but with snowmobiles.
Yeah, it looks really like there would just be clipping problems all over the place. It's one of those PS1 games that looks like it's just held together.
So crispy.
Fishing line. It's raw.
Yeah.
Underbaked.
The N64 one does look a lot better actually. Like there's a wee bit of motion blur by the looks of it going on there as well. Like
this looks like a video game.
The other one, it looks like the old Candy Stand website,
world.
And you used to play like the Flash games. Like
I like this PC one though. This is like
that looks good, doesn't it?
We recently decided that MRC was like the second official time extend game after Shocks. And this is worth playing. See if it's number 3. Could be.
I want to check out the Game Boy Color port.
Yeah,
there's a Game Boy Color port. Oh my days.
Yeah.
Right, I need to. As well.
The N64 one's actually getting kind of expensive, for N64.
Only came out in the US as well.
A loose cart in the United States is $35.
Yeah, only came out in US. No PAL version.
Yeah, I don't see any other territories here.
This one wasn't secretly developed by Housemarque as well, was it?
You imagine if it was.
Oh, that was so cool.
It was really cool.
The Game Boy Color version was a Rumble cart as well. A Rumble pack.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, I need it. Okay, that was a joke, but now I do actually want to play this.
Wait, hold on. At least one version of this game was developed by Blizzard Albany. I didn't know that they had a New York arm. Apparently they did.
They did for Snowcross.
Yep.
Okay.
And they also
it's
made
appropriate. Yeah.
They, I don't know what the fuck that is, but they made a they were going to make a jet skiing game after that, but I was reading on Wikipedia. I think the PS1 version came out, but the N64 version was cancelled, but finished. I guess it was towards the end of the life. I think it was like really late. It was like 2000 or something. So like GameCube was a year later. So
that's
cool.
Yeah, N64 was a original Xbox situation where as soon as the next thing was on the horizon, they just yanked the plug on that sucker.
Yeah.
Or Saturn in America, they gave it like 2 years, like,
Yeah, my closing comment.
Just wait for the next box, whatever.
This game is like, don't play it, but if you're forcing yourself to play it, play any version but the PS1 version, because the N64 one seems to run pretty decently. The GBC version has a rumble pack, and the PC one genuinely looks good.
Yeah.
Maybe, but apparently a nightmare to emulate. So I really need to see if I can get that working, because it does look pretty cool.
I wonder if I can get it running on an old like XP machine or something, because it looks like it visually, like the presentation and stuff, it reminds me a lot of the PC Port of Rally Sport Challenge a little bit, which is really, really fun on an old computer with a force feedback joystick and all that crap.
There's one last thing I want to say about this game. It's an advertisement, the Game Boy Color one, and it proudly proclaims Polaris, the world's #1 snowmobile manufacturer, brings you the first ever snowmobile game for Game Boy Color.
Wow.
They're just so proud.
Yeah, there was no Sled Storm.
There's like 100 Game Boy Color games.
There was
in total.
no Sled Storm on GBC. The market for snowmobile racing games was untapped on the Game Boy.
One of the key features, hardcore techno
starving.
soundtrack. Hardcore techno soundtrack is one of the key selling points.
Wow.
Great.
I guess the only one I can really speak to left is Lotus Challenge, which I played a little bit of, and I think you maybe did too, Andrew.
Which one are you?
So yeah, this game is weird because it came out on the PS2, but not in America. It came out on the Xbox and had a Motor Trend license attached to it, which is why for a minute I thought this game was good, but that's because I was a kid. And then like a year after that came out, this game was released over the course of like 2.5 years on different platforms, and the last one came out on GameCube, and that's the one that I emulated. And it feels budget shit. It feels real rough. The handling's actually not horrendous, but like, God, the game starts and there's no music in the menus, but there's music in the races.
Probably run out of space on a GameCube disc.
No, but the other versions don't have it either. I checked.
Okay.
And I was, for a moment, so this was developed by Kuju Games, which was, I think, also a British studio.
Yep.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was originally confused because I saw the MTO label on the Japanese PS2 version and was like, wait, did the GT Advance people make this game? And no, they did not. They just published it.
Just published it, yeah.
Yeah, not fantastic. Looks like really, like for a GameCube game, like the GameCube could look pretty damn good. Like it was a pretty potent machine, and this is not it. This is like sub Burnout 1 on the GameCube.
Yeah, it's not much better on Xbox either. It does not advertise it, but it does have wheel support for some reason. I didn't try this one with that, but it does have a strange handling system. There are 2 different types of analog steering, at least on the Xbox version. There's the normal left and right, but then also you can do the Genki Sega.
It's a
what is it? The Daytona 2001 thing where you rotate the stick around like a wheel. And then there's a hybrid mode where you can go left and right, but if you push the stick up towards the top half of the semicircle, you can kind of rotate it a little bit, so you have like very fine control over like micro adjustments and stuff. It's really weird to get used to, but it's kind of neat. That's the most interesting thing that I have to say about it, because otherwise there's not really any meat on this bone.
To say about it. It's so bland looking. Just Yeah. And it's one of those games where you start out and it's like, oh, this is a long history of cars. We're going to put you in 2 of the slowest cars imaginable. You just have to drive like really, really old, slow shit.
I mean, like from the beginning of this, you at least get like an Elise and a couple other like old.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
I guess it does.
Stuff.
It does
I don't
have.
remember at this. Like it's already slipping.
Yeah,
from
it
my
does
mind.
have cool stuff, but I think like the championship puts you in slow shit. But it's yeah. There's not really anything to talk about. I just wanted to play it for a long time. Finally did, and now I can say I have. These games, like I should say, I don't know. So I feel like a lot of these games occupied the same kind of space as like the Midas label games that you've talked about over the years, Brend, where like in the US,
bordering on Phoenix.
Yeah,
here.
Phoenix or like Valcon. Do you know I think it's Valcom or Valcon or something like that. There was a company that published a lot of these like one make games in America, and you would always see them on like there were like Kohl's checkout aisle games. Like Alfa Romeo Racing Italiano or like Suzuki TT Superbikes.
Do I have? Hold on. I might have forgotten to play Suzuki.
I had Suzuki TT Superbikes. It's not good. And the shame about that game is that game you really want to be good because it is the only. Okay, up until there was an Isle of Man TT game that came out on the like PS4, but before that, it was the only game that had the full. Was it like 36-mile Isle of Man TT course? And that was cool.
Jeez.
But like the physics were just it was unplayable.
That was published by Midas in the UK.
Yeah.
So it must just be.
What about the sequel? It's another Valcom joint, but I don't know if it's any better. The Superbike Real Road Racing Championship.
Motorcycle racing games are especially rough because like most of them are terrible, and the ones that are good are really good, and it makes you wish that there were more of them.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe they announced another new ride.
I think
game.
I don't have this.
That's still going as well. I think it's Ride 6 now.
Oh yeah, Ride's still going.
Impressive.
Jeez.
There was one of Criterion's joints pre-Burnout was Suzuki All-Stair Racing, I think, on the Dreamcast. I think there was also a Ducati racing game that was on the Dreamcast. I think Criterion did one or the other, but that was like when they had that cool like logo with the. I mean, they had the dog logo for a while, but this was like the version 1 dog logo that was like all like pop art and stuff. It was neat.
Were they still part of Canon at that point?
I don't know.
Because that was the whole thing with Criterion and Renderware and Burnout and all that was they were working in digital imaging technology stuff within Canon and ended up developing.
Oh, I didn't know you meant that Canon
tech demo that became Burnout, and then
wow,
like Canon camera and all that stuff.
It's cool.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
I don't know when they broke out and got bought up by EA. I want to say after.
Yeah,
Burnout
it was
2.
3 was the first one on EA with EA. Yeah.
I know that was the first EA one because that was the one that had like the
tracks
and everything, but the EA track stuff. But I don't know the exact history of when Criterion changed hands, but I thought it was at least after like 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. Anyway, I don't have Suzuki TT Superbike. I believe because you told me
it's
not
bad.
to buy
It's
it.
really bad.
So there is the other Lotus game, which was the Lotus Turbo Challenge made by Gremlin Graphics, and that's the one I've played.
Yes.
Which
yes, that's what I thought you were talking about. Let's do that.
Mega Drive or Genesis was a fucking great game.
So that's the thing is like I don't really play racing games that are that old a lot of the time, so I kind of feel bad, but I know like that game was a big deal, that Jaguar XJ220 game was a big deal. There some of these like the really early ones were very special because back then it was like, you know, they would just go for the one car and it was like you're driving a Jaguar XJ220 and they had all the specs and it was like it wasn't just an advert game, it was actually like a legitimate game. So
they're really good because it was they were like and those programmers made something that came out in the last few years, right, or last 5 years or even 10 years now.
Oh really?
It was an indie racing game that makes it. Is it called Horizon or something? I think the name of it.
Are you talking about Horizon Chase Turbo?
Oh, the Top Gear folks,
guys, right?
yeah.
Top Gear, yes. Top Gear was made by Gremlin Graphics, same team. Yeah, so they kind of merged. I think they went to Sumo and then they separated, I think. think Sumo bought them at some point. They bought Gremlin.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
But they were cool.
I mean, Gremlin was
It really
huge.
was. A massive part of British game dev, that was. But yeah, I remember playing that on the Mega Drive.
Especially
it was really good.
Computer days.
And the Amiga version.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way that... Yeah, it's the only way that someone like Adam or I are going to get our hands on something like Lotus Turbo Challenger. I have Lotus 2 on Genesis because I was told by many Brits over the years that is a particularly notable video game, and this is the only home port that I'm going to be able to get my hands on.
And Mega CD got XG220.
My favorite thing.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
If you have a Mega CD.
Nice. I don't. I should.
One day.
But I don't.
When analog makes
one.
one.
I think it's like...
yeah.
Okay.
Jeez, then you wait for the transparent one.
You can plug the Mega SG into one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can. I forgot about that.
Yeah. This game famously, Lotus 2 has a track builder, a track editor, which is kind of wild for a 16-bit home game.
Cool.
I need to ask you something, Paul. Are British roadways just absolutely littered with giant boulders and downed tree trunks all over the place? Is that how it is to drive over there?
Things
okay, that makes more sense.
You drive to work and there's a turbo on the ground and you drive over it and
the jump ramps and that makes more sense. I was very confused. That's not usually something like we have a lot of issues with our infrastructure.
Well, that's why their
out
infrastructure
here,
is better.
That's not one of our particular
problems. They have the turbo pads.
Right, because they just let the boulders
fall
around.
Very realistic.
And yeah. Dude, I love the music selection screen in this game so much. It's like an early 90s hi-fi car stereo. It's like an upgrade from the Outrun style like radio select. It's really cute. I like it a lot. It's a really nice little skeuomorphic representation. Although you can have music or sound effects, but not both while driving. It's a rad racer situation.
No. It's sad.
I don't know if that's different on the Amiga version, but that's at least the case for Mega Drive. It's cool. I've had this game for a long time, and it's something I pull out every once in a while and mess around with for like half an hour. But it's as far as sprite scaling 16-bit racing games go, there's the differences between all of them can feel very slim, I think. But this is one of the more enjoyable ones to just actually sit down and play, I think.
Yeah, it's a cool game.
Maybe I should check it out.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Maybe they got both the music.
I don't know that you'll like very much about it, but it is at least like, historically.
Maybe they got the music and the sound effects working at the same time for the Sega CD version, but I would hope so at least. Otherwise, what were they really using the CD for?
Scaling and rotation, maybe. I don't know. All right? Mega CD added that, I believe. I think. Yeah, okay. Should we bump off to another Genesis game here real quick?
Yeah.
I've spent some time with our good friend Kawasaki Superbike Challenge, which is a really, really cool little 16-bit 3D racing game. It's like first-person, largely polygonal environments at a playable frame rate that's like playable enough to be actively fun. This isn't like a hard drive-in situation. You've got these very simple flat-shaded 3D polygonal elements, I guess, on the sides of the road for the most part. It's a lot of the like environmental stuff, but the road does go up and down and move around and wind around, and it's not quite as polygon heavy as the Mega Drive port of Virtua Racing with the extra chip in there and all that. But it's VRC1 or whatever. It's very, very impressive to see at all, especially running on just a stock Genesis. There is a Super Nintendo port as well that has like a tenth of the amount of 3D objects in it, and it moves much slower because it's a Super Nintendo. It's not running on an X68000. I have no idea how they did this. It's a really, really late game. It was December 94 in the States on Genesis, and December 95 on Super Nintendo, which is nuts.
This is so cool.
Although I guess the N64 didn't come out till 96 here, so maybe that's not that nuts. I think of 95 as like ridiculously late for Super Nintendo, but I guess it's not actually the case. But yeah, it's a cool game that runs well and is fun. It's a 3D racing game on the Genesis that is like
That's cool.
cheap and forgotten. I don't remember where I heard about this thing, but like,
yeah,
good.
I feel bad for calling this segment garbage time. I didn't account for all like the 16-bit stuff and like the older PC stuff that actually was good. But yeah,
most of this pile next to me is trash.
yeah,
there is some stuff in there that I want to shout out that is like genuinely cool and
This is
interesting.
cool.
no, it's impressive. Also, I'm watching gameplay on Hockenheim. I don't know if they call it Hockenheim in the game, but that is
They do.
Hockenheim.
Yeah.
So, cool.
No, that's the thing. It's like that there are licensed courses in there that you'll recognize, and like Suzuka is identifiably Suzuka. Like it's that one hairpin that's going to wreck your life is still there. It's really quite impressive overall. Cool. I think it's a really cool game. Adam, I thought you told me about this, so I don't know where I heard about it.
No,
but yeah, it's go pick up the Mega Drive Genesis port of Kawasaki Superbike Challenge out there, folks. It is a really, really cool game.
Yeah, try that.
From your friends at Time Warner Interactive, which might explain why they.
Oh.
Well, yeah, because they did virtual racing on.
Yeah, the people who Sega gave a virtual racing machine and said figure it out.
Yeah, and no source code
somehow.
And just said make it from scratch, and they did. Wild, yeah, absolutely nuts. But yeah, it's that team, so you're in good hands. It's good stuff. Let's see, past that. The next thing under that on my stack here, if we want to just dive in real quick, because I don't think we'll have to spend a lot of time on it, is Beetle Adventure Racing.
Oh shit, yeah. This is
that could be an episode.
Yeah, we really should just do an episode.
Right?
Yeah, we have kind of done one on it, if I recall. It was N64.
We did like an N64.
Yeah.
We did N64 race to talk about. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel bad we didn't mention that off the top. Yeah, Beetle Adventure Racing is an incredible game. I think it's got definitely today it gets the praise that it deserves.
Yeah, people know now. Yeah,
people know now. It's I often like to say it's my favorite Need for Speed because if you open up the debug menu, it says Need for Speed 64.
Interesting.
Yeah. Developed by Paradigm Entertainment, I think, and I believe it was on like the same engine that they were, or like, obviously an adapted version of the engine that they were using for like Hot Pursuit and stuff like that on the PS1, which is why, that engine was amazing. And yeah, Beetle Adventure Racing is just a fantastic game. Really like one of those games that I think kind of figured out this way to blend exploration and racing together in a way that like makes you keep coming back but doesn't feel cheap.
Yeah.
It does that in a much better version, I think, of what MRC kind of does with its like weird alternate routes and stuff. But yeah, this game has been given its flowers over recent years, I think, and people understand how cool it is. I think it's also just like it's the spirit of the N64, really. It's super kid friendly. It's really eager to show you cool weird stuff. It's I don't know, it has a lot of personality to it, and it's much less focused on precision racing and everything. It's not a kart racer either, but it's like you said, it's much more explorative. It's very not open. It's not like open world or whatever, but like it seems like it is designed to fascinate the imagination of a child.
And it also does feel it's funny because there was the Australian version that was HSV Adventure Racing, but it does feel very Volkswagen. Like they got the branding on point for what the Beetle was and the way it was marketed and all of that, and they use Futura a little bit in the game, just like Volkswagen
gloss over the origin of Volkswagen, and just maybe don't talk about that part.
That really kind of kills the adventure part,
Yeah.
It's not much of an adventure at that point.
So was
it
going to be a Need for Speed game originally? Was that the plan?
I think I would love to bring this up on the cutting room floor real quick if it didn't block anyone who was using like private relay or anything, because that's what they do there. But yeah, I think I read that like the debug menu has Need for Speed 64 or something on it. At the moment, I don't have like the details in my head about like when they decided to do that or any of that, but yeah, it did start life as some form of Need for Speed game for the N64.
Neat. See, that's why we do this show. We're learning things together today. let's see. Should I just keep going down the stack? I don't know what else
Yeah,
you
I've got
guys
nothing
have
left.
like lined up. Okay, Brand, you good? You got? No, okay,
I'm all
you're
good.
staring blankly at
I'm
me.
all
Got
good.
it. Okay, I'm just gonna start rapid firing
Yeah,
this shit then. Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed is a video game. It has anamorphic widescreen, which is kind of cool for a PS1 game. The brakes don't work, and control is taken away very, very easily. So it just feels very frustrating to drive around. I do not like the handling model.
Yeah.
But it looks very nice.
Developed by Eden Studios on the PS1, and most people say the PC version is better, and I'm sure it is.
Probably. I only played the PlayStation version, as that is what I had on hand. That's the other thing. I don't know if we talked about this explicitly on mic, but there are a lot of games and ports and versions of things like this that would fit the prompt of a one-make racing game that we are not touching today. I think that's a, like we said, kind of a functionally infinite pool of video games. So I'm just going by what I had lying around already and what I found at the thrift store within the last week, which was not a lot. The next thing down here is Alfa Romeo Racing Italiano on the PlayStation 2, which is another renderware game. So I'm trying to find my notes here. Flipping around. I hand wrote them.
Wish.com F355 challenge.
Yeah, basically. We have Ferrari at home. Does not look or feel very good, but it sounds great. It's got really, really good audio and really, really good implementation of ProLogic 2 for the PlayStation 2. So shout out there, despite it not being advertised on the box. So I guess they just didn't pay for the Dolby license, which is common. Yeah, I don't know. It's got your Laguna Secas, your Hockenheims, and all that, but it's just not. It's not a video game that anyone wants or needs to play. It says the first racing RPG on the back, which is also very funny. For a lot of reasons.
It's not a copy.
Big claim.
That's
Racing Lagoon would like to.
The first racing RPG. Yeah, Racing Lagoon.
First ever.
Gran Turismo, even like anything that's ever been called a RPG would like to speak to you.
RPG.
Yeah, that was.
What makes an RPG?
Very strange.
Andrew, did you?
I don't know. I don't know. It's got like a career mode, I guess, but it's like normal. It's got a button that says Tiger mode, which I think is the R Racing Evolution style psych out thing. I couldn't figure out how to make that. Whatever. The game's a mess, but it's.
Oh my god.
I don't know. It exists. It's fine. It's not something anyone needs to jump out and.
It was called Scar
immediately
in Europe. SCAR.
Oh yeah, Squadra Corsa,
Yeah.
Squadra Corsa, Alfa Romeo. Yep,
I
that's
have
their
seen
official the name of their team or something. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense then. Yeah, what a strange thing. I do want to get through some of the Ford Racing stuff really quick though, because I have messed around with Ford Racing 2 here on PS2 a little bit here and there over the years. Years ago, a friend of the show, Casey Calhoun, did a video about this series, and I remember she said that she preferred the second one and was not as into some of the ways that they updated the third. And I thought about not popping the shrink wrap off of my inexplicably sealed copy of Ford Racing 3. That was another thing I found at a charity shop years ago. Because it would be funny, but I was like, I could just repeat whatever Casey said, but that's not... That feels dishonest. So yeah, I don't know. I never played Ford Racing 1. I understand it's a late PS1 game. There are a lot of other spin-offs in this series throughout the 2000s. They did off-road and street racing and Ford vs. Chevy and all this other stuff. There are a lot of other spin-offs in this budget racing series, which is kind of weird. Ford Racing 2 is pretty good. It's event-based. The steering is really, really sensitive. But it's very polished. It does not feel like a reskinned simple 2000 game in the way that some of these do a little bit. It still feels a little bit like a budget game maybe, but it does at least seem like a proper ass video game. It's not just an advert game type thing.
Cool.
So Ford Racing 2 felt legitimate at least in a way that was nice. I popped open 3 here. I just have the PS2 ports of both of these. I don't know how the Xbox ports compare. I liked Ford Racing 3 a lot better. I gotta say, I don't know if that's a hot take or whatever. We're at 60 FPS now, whereas 2 was at 30, so that might be a big part of it. I thought the chase cam was much better, and the driving model was much, much better, and the career mode just like was organized and structured in a way that made more sense. Like the events felt like they progressed in a way that felt natural and organic. Like it just, that's just ordering of levels, but it also becomes part of the polish of the experience, if that makes sense. And the kind of presentation of it. In my notes, I wrote least crap thing I've played thus far. So, shout out to Ford Racing 3.
And those were only on the PS2, right? The second and third games.
And Xbox.
Oh, they're on the Xbox. Sorry,
they have Xbox ports as well that I do not have.
Okay.
But now I'm curious about. Like, I wonder if maybe that port of Ford Racing 2 runs at 60. I don't know. Probably not, but that'd be a neat thing to find out. They also have Xbox Live, so maybe. Worth looking into on Insignia. I don't know if they're live or not yet. But the last Ford Racing thing that I want to drop is I found this copy of Ford Off-Road on the Wii, which also had PS2 and PSP ports. It's from that era where just every game was either the two HD consoles and or PC, although a lot of really bad PC ports in this era, or you would get Wii, PSP, and maybe PS2, and this is one of those. The disc did not read, so I don't know, didn't play it. Looked up some video on YouTube and stuff. It seems fine. It's, again, perfectly cromulent. It's a lot of Ford Explorers flying around in the dirt. It's like there's no, this is not a Sega Rally Revo dirt simulation. They're not doing anything really. They're not reaching for anything here.
It's no eccentric.
As middle of the road as can be. The other Wii game that I found in the trash store this week was Yamaha Supercross. This is garbo. This is as budget as it gets. This is when I talk about, like, I do play a lot of Simple 2000 games because I'm broken this way, and a Simple 2000 game would have been embarrassed to ship like this. Like, it's not that it's like falling apart and buggy and broken. It's just nothing. Like, it's just they're reaching for so little and not even grasping. Like, it's just this very much is like made in a week for free kind of thing. This feels like it was developed as a favor. Like, I can't believe this is a retail product. It's just so, it looks like a 3D Flash game. Like, there's very, very little there. You have generic riders and generic Yamaha dirt bikes, all going through very small generic arena indoor route tracks that are all functionally the same because they're not based on real places or real things. They're just like basically the same dome, and then it says a different city name on the menu or whatever, and then you have what might as well be a randomized Excitebike 64 track inside there, in terms of just like, here's a bunch of dirt hills that don't really line up well, and you can't, like, there's no like vertical, like, leaning forward and back control like there is in every other Supercross game, so you're just going, it's a lot of crashing every time you land kind of thing. There's no reason for it to be on the Wii. You control it with the A button, the B button, and the stick, and that's it. There's gas, brake, and steering. There's no, it's nothing. It is as nothing as a retail video game can be.
I mean, the reason for it to be on the Wii is because the Wii was quite profitable. So
yeah,
there's your
right.
reason.
Like, everyone was dumping all of their cheap, like, shovelware on the Wii, and this is definitionally that. It is the definition of what you think of in terms of the shovelware era on the Wii and DS, and a lot of that stuff actually, like, if you look at just like weird cheap crap on the Wii that you see flooding shelves at used game stores now, if you look for publisher logos from like D3 or Conspiracy or I'm blanking on a couple of the others, but there are a few to look for that will tell you immediately, oh, this is a localized Simple 2000 game, because there were a ton of those on the Wii, and a lot of them are weirdly kind of interesting, and very clearly were not meant to hold like English language and Roman characters in their menus.
How long did the Simple
it's
2000
very
series go for? I thought that ended on like the PS2. No,
Ooh,
wow.
I have Wii U Simple 2000 games.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
I want to say they were still going to PS4. That might not be.
That's cool.
Right.
Damn.
The
rich history. Well, they have to have more than one racing game. It can't just be racing by A1 Games.
Oh no, they have tons.
Yeah.
Yeah, even on the PS2, there are a bunch of different ones. They have the Crazy Taxi ripoff that also has a PSP port that I have. There's a there's a whole bunch, and they're all pretty bad, but none of them are as bad as Yamaha Supergrass for the Supergrass.
I think
Yamaha
Supergrass. I think we have a future episode now.
There you go. Yeah, just simple series racing games.
Yeah.
It's probably time for me to just dive into these last two weirdo Xbox advert games now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brent, do you want to talk about Mercedes-Benz World Racing and all of its glorious reflective
that's cool.
cover glory?
That's very cool.
And it's published by TDK Glory.
Yeah.
That's why that game was like it. Yeah, I mean, you guys will get into it, but like that's why I was interested in that game, because it had a holographic cover.
Yeah, that is pretty sick.
And it's just
the Majora's Mask of racing games.
It's holographic. The rest of it is not.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. A little.
I hate this game.
I almost said lithograph.
A lot.
Yeah, it's pee pee poo poo the video game. I took a turn so fast that I flipped over the wall and like out of bounds, and it just said "extreme driving error" in giant letters, which was really funny. This game is extremely slow. It's very, 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 very slow. If Volvo Drive for Life feels a little bit too fast in weird ways, Mercedes-Benz World Racing feels freakishly slow. The cockpit view, though, is really, really interesting because they modeled everything out pretty well for the time. But I was playing it with a wheel, and they have a modeled hand up on the wheel. So I was just like sitting there with one hand on the wheel, turning it around, and there was also a kind of low poly 3D hand on the screen doing the exact same thing. And that was kind of neat, I guess. This is novel. There's car damage, which is kind of wild for a manufacturer licensed game. For there to be like modeled car damage in there seems kind of neat. The thing that I like about this game, though, is the cheapest thing about it, which is that there's no like clipping on anything that's not on the track. So you can just drive off the track and go goof. It even has a free drive mode, I think, where you can just explore the tracks that they made, which are weird. There's a lot of big open areas to drive around and just kind of lose yourself in these like oddly accidentally peaceful scenes. But like the very first track that they give you is an American military base in Nevada. And it's just like there's a bunch of like B-tooth stealth bombers and F-117s and stuff parked around, and outside of the hangars there are helicopters flying around, and you can just drive through them and just slide right through.
There's a UFO as well.
It's a really weird game. Yes, there is. And yeah, like the helicopters go down and they're still like like Ridge Racer style. The prop is still spinning and everything, and you just kind of slide right through them. It's great. Or like that big alpine level with a big old mountain full of all these like ski lodges everywhere. But it looks like crap, so it's like oddly, your brain can kind of fill in some details there. It gets liminal.
Yeah.
That's it. Mercedes-Benz World Driving is haunted, I think. Is what I'm getting at.
There's definitely a weird,
if one of these was going to have a bend round
underbelly to the game, like it's that really
there's some
eerie feeling to it for
some evil about
it for no apparent reason as well.
Sinister, yeah.
So
it's very strange.
So the only thing I have to add to this is that there was a sequel called World Racing 2 that did not have the Mercedes-Benz license. I think it had a multitude of car licenses. But one of the interesting things that happened more recently is that game was released on Steam. And in order to release it on Steam, all of the licenses were removed. So all of the cars were renamed and also remodeled in slight ways to get rid of their obvious branding. And I think that is a unbelievable amount of effort for a pretty bad game.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's on sale for $3.49. That's really funny.
And it's a game. It's a game of all time.
It certainly is.
That's a way to put it.
That feels like one person on the team just wanted to do it and put aside a few months of work or whatever.
I guess so.
German
Strange.
team named Cynical originally developed.
There's
it. I don't
3
know what
people
else they
playing
did,
it right now, so I mean,
Wow.
that's not too bad.
Jump in.
3.
Yeah. All right. It's time we rip the Band-Aid off here on the final centerpiece of this endeavor that we've been on here, which is Volvo Drive for Life for the original
Best for
Xbox.
last.
Yep. This is if you've seen that Digital Foundry Gran Turismo video, folks, you've seen one Audi Surly go on a big long Norwegian rant about this, which is very, very good. But this being a Swedish company, it's close enough. Whatever. I don't understand what this game is. It's a very, very late original Xbox exclusive release that was for Volvo showrooms. As far as I know, that's the only place it was actually sold. I don't know if there was any kind of like mass retail release for this that I can find.
It didn't even come out in Europe.
But no one cares about it, so it's still super cheap and it's terrible and no one should play it, but it's
No power release, right?
they had to have been like
Well,
I don't think so.
So what's crazy about it is the idea that they sold it at dealers. I'm not seeing that, but if they did, that's insane. The internet says it was developed by Climax, which made good games. So I don't know how this happened.
I don't either.
Didn't come out in Europe.
It's really, really light on. No, I think this is a U.S. exclusive. I mean, this is also during the era when Ford owned Volvo, which might be part of it.
Yeah, maybe.
I say that because I had a 2007 S80 for a long time until it died, and that was a just rolling metal piece of shit. I hate that car. I'll never buy a Volvo again because I had a Ford with the Volvo logo on it for a long time, and it sucked ass. That's not in here, but the 2005 S60R is. And basically they have, in terms of like actual content on disc, there's the first thing that it brings you to in the menu is the like video about crash tests and like safety ratings and everything.
Yeah, I'm watching that right now.
Which they were doing this yeah, of course, it's great. But like in terms of actual game content, there are 3 different cars and you have to do a like safety challenge on a test track, and if you can pass that, you can then go on into a race event that is significantly less difficult than the test event that they make you go through, which is either like get through all these cones and then in a time limit, or dodge all of these wooden billboard mooses that are like moving back and forth, which is where that post came from. So like avoid the mooses on the XC90 test track or whatever. The moose, that's what that was. It was just driving around an XC90 through a bunch of on a test track with a bunch of like wooden cutout moose billboards sliding back and forth on little motorized rollers that you're meant to avoid and get to the end of the track. And then the third one is just chasing another car there that has a rolling start, and then braking at the end before you hit the cones. And then so you get through that, and then it will take you into actual race events that are very, very light on content as well. There is not a ton here in general. The audio is terrible. All the like sound effects are cheap cartoon library stock sound effects that you have heard a million times all over the place. It's like the metal banging against metal equivalent of the Wilhelm scream kind of thing all over the place. The AI is completely broken, which isn't evident until you get into the race events, because that's where the other cars actually are. But they are sliding all over the place and crashing into each other and pinballing off the walls. They will crash into you and send you flying into crazy directions. It's absolutely bug nuts. They are not trying to win a race. I don't know what they're trying to do, but they are not trying to win a race. So, like, actually getting in first is not difficult. It's getting to the end of the track at all without getting rammed off course all over the place by bad AI. That is the actual challenge there. For whatever reason, though, despite being a what do you call it? A automotive showroom piece. It has really, really great Dolby Digital 5.1 integration.
Amazing.
In terms of the games that I played for this is probably the best use of actual like discrete channel surround sound. Which sucked because it was using all of these terrible sound effects and like really bad oscillating engines, and it was just man, like it sounded worse than a lot of the PS1 games that working in this era with a similar budget range. And that is about all I've got to say about Volvo Drive.
It has a built-in car configurator though, by the looks of it.
Kind of.
Pretty cool.
It's again, it's pick a color. And
seats.
swap between automatic and manual, I think.
Choose the colour of the seats.
Is there other stuff in there?
The configuration of your engine. So that's cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, you could get one of those 5-cylinder.
Yeah.
Volvo is all about the
They're
5-cylinder engines. Real weird. Yeah,
Ridiculous
it's
time.
funny to me too because there was that ad for Rally Sport Challenge 2 that aired in the US. I'm assuming it also aired elsewhere. It was a Volvo ad, but it used footage from Rally Sport Challenge 2 of like, because that game is a Volvo S40 rolling. And I remember seeing it when I was a kid, and it has a song from the game as well. So why could they not have maybe, I don't know, tap DICE to make a better version of, or a Volvo customized version of that game? I don't know, instead of whatever this was.
Climax should be a company you could tag for something like this, though. I feel like.
Climax is good. I don't know what happened here. Maybe they were like,
I think this is straight up just
need
time
to
and
check.
I think this is just like, can you bang this thing out real quick using an engine you already have pre-built and like maybe some prefab assets? That we can use as an ad. That's like this is the Volvo equivalent of the Burger King games.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about those. Maybe Blitz.
Was it expensive to get this game?
No. Like again, it's one of the things where like it's quite uncommon. It's not like rare, but it's there are not many of them out there, but no one gives a shit.
Fair.
On price charting right now, it's going for like $6 to $8. It's no one cares about this game, and it's functionally a demo that's more interesting academically as a thing to point at on the shelf and go, hey, look at this weird thing that exists, and talk about into a microphone, but it's not that interesting ultimately, I guess. It's more funny that it exists.
Bizarre.
I think getting Audi to just be weird over it for a couple minutes is probably the best thing that you could do with Volvo Drive for Life. So it's I feel like the President Guy Whitey Corngood here in the Mr. Show sketch about blowing up the moon. It's just like, we landed on it, hit a golf ball on it, did a push-up on it, cook an egg on it. What else can you do with it? America can, must, will, should blow up the moon, whatever.
And look,
somebody please
Saab
interrupt me
didn't
and end
have-
this podcast, because
Saab didn't have a racing game before they died, so
Rip.
Rip. Had to be Volvo. Yeah, there's way more of these games out there. Maybe one day we'll do a part 2, but for now, that's gonna do it.
Well, I was actually
if we ever hate ourselves enough to try this again.
Yeah. One of the things I was going to play for a bit was actually play a horse racing game, because technically that would be one make. And I actually thought, let's just do a horse racing episode, so that's definitely getting added to the spreadsheet.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that makes more sense, but I also like the idea of just like, what's the... Oh, okay, Brendan, what's the manufacturer
Horse.
for that stallion?
No,
Daytona.
For a second, I was like, "Oh God, I don't want to have to play a horse racing game," and then I realized that Daytona USA.
That's exactly it. That was
fits.
going to be my choice. Yeah. That was going to be the joke. If I went for it, but
Wait. We could do animals, because then you've got a dolphin in Wave Race, the horse in Daytona.
Paul, have you ever, because you love Wave Race, have you ever unlocked a dolphin?
Yeah, absolutely.
I heard it was like
in
really
Bluestone as well.
hard.
The
You have to
look
finish
on
X
Paul's
for
face just
things.
now. He's not been this offended
No,
in a long time. It was
It
just
was
like,
no. Finishing Expo is very hard, but you had to, or did you have to finish reverse? But I have done it.
I thought it was a secret trick you have to do. I don't know.
Was it?
Was it Bluestorm?
We'll do a Wave Race episode one day, because I think we need to for Paul.
that'll justify me buying
I
an
played a
animal.
lot of Blue Storm this
Maybe.
weekend.
We'll wait until Brent. Well, Brent will probably have his analog hopefully in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, before Christmas.
Yeah.
They said so.
Before
If it gets here before Christmas, then great. The $50 shipping should.
If I'm ever
definitely
employed
get
again, I would love to grab one of these things. Jeez.
There's also a dog in GTI Club
Alright, well-
as well. So maybe animals within racing games can be a. There's actually just racing games based around being animals too, isn't there?
and the
say
T-Rex
Mad
in Need for
Dash
Speed
counts?
too.
Yeah, Mad Dash.
T-Rex.
Perfect. Yeah, this is-
you get the dolphin in stunt mode. That's right. Performing all the stunts.
All right. Well, Paul's gonna. It's
Yeah.
like 1 a.m. in the UK, but Paul's still going to go and get this dolphin right now as soon as we stop recording. So, thanks everybody for listening. Until next time.
Cheers, guys.
I'm so sorry.
See you later.